Welcome to Kilgallon's Pub, everybody. This is the podcast where I, myself, comedian Joe Kilgallon, like to sit back, have some drinks with people, and recreate that bar conversation. If you're watching live on Facebook, welcome. Everyone else listening on all your little apps, I appreciate that. You can write us a review on iTunes. It does go a long way. 5 stars, of course. Anything less than that, don't be a dick. We're also on Twitter, at Kilgallon's Pub. On Instagram, at Kilgallon's Pub. I'm at Joe Kilgallon on everything. Joe Kilgallon on everything. I mumble my own fucking name. We've got a lot to talk about, and I'm excited, despite the fact that this is going to be probably a sober podcast, unless we decide to drink like this sliver of Jack Daniels and this sliver of the Kraken Black Spiced Rum. Looks good. I've got 2 fucking hilarious dudes. One guy I've been trying to get in for a while now, just timing hasn't worked out. We got comedian Nate Burrows, comedian Ed Towns, both Chicago studs. And welcome, boys.
Hey.
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah,
Couple
man.
studs.
Nate's first time, Ed returning guest.
2 times.
2 times. And yeah, you're in that club. It's only a club about like 5 or 6 other people.
Exclusive.
Mm-hmm. I've got you on my album recording this weekend.
Yes.
Saturday night.
Super pumped.
Still some tickets available, everybody, but they are going fast. So just go to comediansthatyouknow.com. You can find the tickets there if you're in the Chicago area. Shows 7 and 9:30 p.m. All right, we do have a lot of really fun shit to talk about. I got annoyed, though. Not annoyed, but the person, James, my good producer, James.
Yeah, buddy.
We're here at the POC Comedy Network.
Yes, sir.
POC podcast. Yeah, People of Comedy, the new name. I love it. Mm-hmm. Your neighbor.
What's so funny about that, Nate?
I don't know. You know.
Got something to say, Nate?
Just different acronyms, you know. That was fun.
People like acronyms. Yeah, go get into it.
Get a little Kraken going.
Well, I forgot to buy alcohol like a dipshit, so I don't know how. I was just in a hurry running around. You ever have one of those days where people just keep bothering you?
Yeah, man.
Like in a row, too, and you're just like, I was like screaming at my phone, leave me alone.
Like, hey, can you do Kilgallon's Pub? Like, fuck, I want to take a nap.
Right? I get that, man. I'm so sorry. Your neighbor, dude, has still all decked out in Christmas stuff, man. It's
The one across the street?
Yeah, come on. How long? What's...
Dude, have you seen how much shit they got up there?
It's a lot.
I would leave that up until April, because I'm not freezing my ass off for fucking 2 hours.
That's a good point.
We talking about this neighborhood?
Right across the street.
Is there a bakery around here? Because you guys smell like some kind of pastry at Clybourne and Damon right there?
Well, I'm sure there's a bakery somewhere, yeah.
No, but I'm just like, it's a very strong smell.
I mean, there's a Costco. They make fresh bread every day.
Maybe
that's
it's
true.
Fresh bread,
probably
the Costco fresh bread.
Yeah.
Shout out to Costco for their fresh
Costco.
product.
And their endless supply of free samples. You could take a lap in Costco and have yourself a nice meal, man.
Sundays should be like that.
I like a good Costco. You got $1.50 foot-long hot dog,
I love
too.
a good sample meal.
So you could go, when they have the food that's kind of on the outside, you don't need to prove you remember. You can just go in there and get it. When I lived in L.A., the best pizza in L.A. was Costco pizza.
No, that's sad.
Really?
It is sad.
That's sad.
It's sad.
It's sad as fuck, dog.
It's not. Costco pizza's not bad, by the way.
But it's not. Come on. That's your best?
I hear you.
That's real sad.
No, L.A.'s got shit pizza. Great Mexican food. Great like sushi and stuff like that.
Mexican's fucking out of this world. Even
so
taco
good.
truck beats anything here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Chicago's got good stuff, but compared to, Mexico's just right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You'd be like, if it wasn't good, you'd be like, hey, come on over.
Yeah, that works every time.
Did you ever feel bad for the sample people at Costco, like the person who has like the flaxseed toast bites and no one's going to their section, but then the orange chicken guy is just got a line
Crushing it.
like,
Crushing it.
like past
You
it's
think
going all the way to the closed section.
I think they're in the break room going, oh man,
Yeah,
I got tofu again.
What the fuck?
Like no one's gonna fucking come to my thing. Yeah.
Or maybe they give it to the people who want to be left the fuck alone.
I got algae crisps. Why couldn't take the sesame chicken? Like they have to rotate it.
But what would you want though? Would you want to be a long line?
I would want the shitty
I would want to be left alone.
I'm almost sure you were on something. The people that needs to be left alone.
Yeah.
Like, Weird Al has that eye twitch and shit when he talks to more. Give him the tofu. Let's not have him interact with people.
They give the psychos.
Yeah.
The smelly guy at work gets the zucchini bites.
They give Todd, dude, why don't I get algae crisps again? They give like Todd
Because
Massey.
you punched a hole. Oh, yeah.
Dude, I fucking get the shittiest product. Give me the sesame chicken.
I wish the listeners knew who Todd Massey was, because that's a great impression.
Todd Massey's a comic who dresses like a
Todd
cowboy.
was part of a brawl like he does,
Yeah.
He was part of a brawl that I talked about 4 or 5 podcasts ago that for legal reasons he couldn't come on the podcast.
Yeah.
I was going to have him on to talk about it, but he was like, no,
I don't think he was involved in a brawl. He tried to get involved in a brawl.
He slipped and fell watching it.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. That was the equivalent. That's the equivalent to him saying, "Oh, I hurt myself in a brawl," to people about his MCL.
Yeah.
It's the equivalent of someone saying, you ever see that Curb Your Enthusiasm episode where the guy's like, oh, that's a picture of my cousin. He died in 9/11. Yeah. And Larry's like, oh, was he in one of the towers? He's like, no, he was up street. Got hit by a bike messenger. He was uptown. Yeah. That's the same equivalent of that, of him being like, oh, yeah, toward the MCL in an old bar fight. What happened? Slipped on some vodka on the floor.
Yeah.
Tried to grab my friend for support. He ended up punching me because he thought I was an enemy. Nah,
Yeah, he did
what
frame that as a bar fight. That
Well,
was
he
so
did.
Oh
funny.
my God. Yeah.
He made it seem like, I remember the next day he tagged me in the post. He was like, I'm never going to the Laugh Factory holiday party again, which first of all implicates something happened at the party, which
Yeah,
it
yeah,
didn't.
yeah.
But
And then he says,
helped.
thanks to me,
It helped though.
which also I didn't start the fucking fight. I ended the fight.
He was
Big
burning
difference.
a bunch of bridges in that night.
Oh, man. Well, I did technically start the physical confrontation, but the guy was getting fresh with my buddy's girl, so that made it
Was
really
this at
easy.
Laugh Factory?
No, this was at
You were at Big,
Big City. Yeah, it happened at Big City.
Dude, I was there. I don't remember half.
Dude, there's
the
like
people.
half the people on the one side were so fucked up, like you, Joe Fernandez, Jonah Jerkins. You guys were so fucked up, you didn't realize there was a brawl
No,
happening
I missed
on
the
the
whole
other
thing.
side of the.
I
Just on
came
the
out. I
dance
just seen
floor.
someone's bloody nose. I'm like, oh fuck, did he fall down?
No, he got fucking stuck.
I
That's
just
what
can't-
happened.
I can't believe you guys actually still go to Big City Tag.
I didn't. That's the first
You know,
time I've been
it's
there
still
since I moved
Fucking
back.
worse, man.
It
And you know,
sucks.
in my defense, I said let's go to the drop, and everyone said no.
I wanted to go there.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, I don't know why people. Big City's closer, but so what? At that point, and nobody walked from Laugh Factory to Big City,
Yeah.
I know the fucking.
so it's not. They might as well go to a better bar.
The drop makes sure to wipe their floors. I know that. I know they take care. They take care of. They watch out for lawsuits.
Well, I
Like,
think because I threw the guy into the table, that the table fell down and all the drinks
threw
on
a
it.
guy into
I
a
threw.
table.
I
Somehow
got
you still-
low. I got real
Yeah.
Khalil Mack with my form.
underneath the
I got
pads.
it.
Got underneath the pads.
I want to see
I
one
hadn't
of these
fought.
Joe Kilgallon
I hadn't fought anyone
Hulk
in
moments.
I haven't fought anybody since I lost my wedding ring 5 months into my marriage
Such a fight.
outside of Yahtzee's, which is now closed. Which I told people it would close one day for wronging me because they banned me for life for
For
fighting
fighting?
in front of the bar. If I fought inside the bar, sure, you got a case, but I got to fight in front of the bar. And to me, I remember, I used to talk about on stage. I said to people, or I said to the guy, because the guy told me the next day I lost my wedding ring in the snow. The next day I'm like a gold miner, like looking
Yeah.
for it, like sifting through it.
You
know,
have
the
CJ
snow.
Sullivan with you too.
Yeah,
you have like your
because
other
he
comic
left,
friends.
He left 5 minutes before. It was me, two of my buddies I grew up with, went to high school with, and then CJ Sullivan. CJ Sullivan left like 4 minutes before, going, "Oh, they're not gonna fucking do anything," and they wouldn't have, but I waited for them, so I did. I did. I would have gotten 5 for instigating there for playing hockey rules.
Pat McGann had the best because you did that. I remember right when that happened. You did that story hosting at CYSK, and he went on after you. And he goes, yeah. He goes, my weekend was great. He goes, I got in a fight with a guy and I lost, but I got his ring.
Yeah,
And he goes, he won the fight, and then he points the ring. He goes, but I got the belt.
yeah.
That was such a good line.
That was a great line. He's hilarious.
Can I drink this rum right now? Or are we gonna do it all? Do we have to do it? Do we have to do
We'll
it
do
together?
the shot together. Yeah,
Okay, thanks.
Yeah,
this will take us there,
Let's do
right?
it together.
Yeah, for sure.
It's good for morale.
I don't mind rum, but you just never do it as a shot.
No, you don't.
It's weird as a shot.
It's sweet though. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's like I don't
It's
know.
almost too sweet. That aftertaste, I think, maybe I have a cavity. I might hit the back of a tooth there.
Yeah.
But I told the guy, because when I was looking through the snow, that's why I made CJ Helm, because he left 5 minutes before, and it was a 6-on-3 brawl. It could have been 6-on-4. Not that it really would have mattered in the grand scheme of things. Some guy who worked at Yahtzee's came out and was like, "Hey, were you the guy that got in the fight here last night?" I go, "Yeah, you know." And he goes, "All right, well, dude, just so you know, you're banned. You're never allowed in this bar again." And I literally said to him, like, "You think I fucking give a shit about this fucking asshole bar? Like, bar
But
sucks."
you kind of did a little bit.
I was only mad
It was-
because I don't like the idea of someone banning me from anything. This is America. If I want to beat the shit out of someone in front of your establishment, I will. Like, where
I
kind
give
of
a shit
freedom
about
is it?
Yaxies?
Yeah, I was like pronouncing it wrong. Yaxies. Yeah, and then it was funny to me
I wish
because
you knocked over that popcorn machine they have in the corner.
the popcorn machine kind of started the fight in the first place. Because I said to this one girl who was flirting with my buddy earlier, I go, "Hey, where are you going, Popcorn Hog?" Because they were flirting earlier, and so I kind of talked to her when it was like a little group setting, and I was already drunk, and I turned around and I see her like taking all the popcorn because it was like about closing time. I think they was
so
called
it was
that.
a
Called.
Just taking it to go?
Yeah, I don't
She
know what
just
she was
stuffed
doing,
it in
but
a
she was
purse or some
taking
shit?
it. It was like she was packing this popcorn. I was like, "Whoa, where you going, Popcorn Hog?" And then she kind of turned around and smiled because we talked earlier. I wasn't, she thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Some guy who was part of her little group of dudes.
Oh,
and
save
other
a
friends.
hoe. Got the cape on. Maybe I'll get my dick sucked for her honor.
Real white knight.
It's me, Captain Save-A-Ho.
James, you're a graphic designer. Could you make a Save-A-Ho logo for us? Like a Superman S with like, I don't know, breasts around it or something. I'm not really sure what the logo could be. But so when I said that, she turned around and smiled, and then he's kind of giving me a hard look, and I was just like, yeah? And he's like, getting a little loud over there, guy. I don't like being called guy. So here's my response.
Guy, that's your tick.
Is that the white nigga?
Yeah, right, that is.
Guy? Who the fuck is this motherfucker?
Ed, you really can't say that.
Yeah, that's our thing, Ed, if you don't mind.
Sorry. I'll
You're
say it
gonna
with a soft
culture
wine.
appropriate.
What do you say to you, my guy?
No problem, my guy. You know what I'm saying, guy? All right, I like that. That doesn't work as much, though. I remember when Michael Robinson was on the podcast, he was saying it every other word and just made every sentence so much funnier.
Yeah.
It's like, dude,
Guy-
I'm like,
guy-
God, I wish we had something like
Guys,
that.
we don't.
Yeah, that's the problem with comedy
Not enough.
as a black man.
Michael Robinson not showing up?
Oh, well, that too.
No, we'll talk. We don't. I don't know. But guys, go back and listen to the Michael Robinson podcast. We can talk about him then. But so I responded to that. He said, "You're getting a little loud over there, guy." And my response is, "I'll fucking kill you." I literally said that and screamed it. And CJ, that was the funniest shit he ever saw. CJ Sullivan was there for that part. He was like right next to me when I said that.
Have you played Red Dead Redemption yet?
No.
So in Red Dead
I know
Redemption,
it,
when
though.
you have an interaction, it's either greet or antagonize. He plays it, but there's no greet button. It's just
I know.
antagonize.
I go. I always tell people I go 0 to 60. People are like, "Whoa, where did that come from, man?" I don't build.
Oh, the way you said that this is gonna like naturally progress. Cause you're like, I don't really like being called guy. But then right after you're guy,
I was a little guy rubs me the wrong way, but I will fucking kill you over a guy.
I thought there was gonna be like at past guy, then he was gonna call you an asshole.
Yeah, I
and
thought I was
then-
gonna build up.
And then maybe there'd be another.
That's
thing.
what most people think. That's not how I played it.
You get a lot of other guy.
I said
I'll
that.
fucking kill you.
And then he said, "What?" And I stepped towards him, and then a couple people got in our way, and then, no one really knew what was happening at the moment.
I don't think you knew what was happening.
No, I did. I was moving to LA 2 weeks later, so I think I was trying to get all my Chicago stuff out of the way. I was looking at Chicago
Chill out for LA,
before I
man.
was
Yeah, get all that
drinking
fucking
smoothies every day.
Were you pretty drunk? Like, were you pretty?
I was drunk, but not so much.
Like you
couldn't
remember
stand.
it all? Yeah.
I remember like 95% of it.
Okay.
Because what happened then? We went outside, and we went out before them. And then CJ's like, "I'm gonna fucking leave," because he lived like right across the street. And I was waiting. My buddies were like, "Let's get an Uber." I'm like, "I kind of want to see if this guy's gonna do anything." And they're like, "Dude, you're 30. You're 20. I was 29. Like you're 29. You're almost 30 years old, man. What are you doing?" I'm like, "All right." And then as I reluctantly said, "Fine, let's get an Uber." This was during the last polar vortex
I
too.
know,
It was
this is like-
minus 12 at the time. It was
Jesus
so
Christ.
cold outside. Don't get into a fight when it's that cold, people. Don't get in a fight anyway. And then they come out, and I said to the guy, I go, "Oh, come to talk more shit." And I'll give him credit. I think he took a chapter from the way I think.
Yeah.
He didn't say anything. He just gave me a full push, and like it was he kind of he took a couple hard
That's when
steps,
your
like a
boner started
running
kicking in.
push. Oh, man, I got it. But that bus bench is right there. There's a bus bench, so I flipped over it and went into like 3 feet of snow on the ground. And I think my ring might have come off then because I wasn't wearing gloves
Shit.
because I wasn't prepared for the weather. And your fingers shrink when it's cold, so the ring came out then. I didn't realize until after the fight that my keys were going too bad. I ended up finding my keys. But then during the fight,
God, I wish we could have Bill Nye break down the fight.
this is how loyal my buddies that I went to high school with, though. As soon as I got pushed, I go over the bus bench. Right when I look up, my other buddy popped the dude.
Oh.
And then two of his friends grabbed on him, and then my other friend stepped, and then it was a 6-on-3 thing. And I just went after that guy who started. I'm like, I gotta kill him. And not literally, of course, guys, but I did DDT him on cement. Which when you hit a DDT,
Did you slap his back too right
I
before you
think
dropped
I
him?
might have did.
What do you do after the DDT?
Well, I was holding him down, and then his friends kind of got on to kick a little bit, and then he tried to get up. But I knew if I looked at it this way. The reason I had him in a headlock and his friends were hitting me, I'm like, the only thing I could do to stop this is to really fuck this guy up.
Yeah.
Because that will wake everyone up out of a fight.
Break his neck and they all
Because it was the longest brawl. Fights are usually like 45 seconds. People don't realize how. That's why it cracks me up when.
in negative weather.
That
you don't
too.
really have. Yeah.
This is how fights are normally 45 seconds.
You're in all these layers too. You probably don't get much momentum.
The first punch I threw was like I grazed his lip with my pinky knuckle. Like I barely. I think I referenced that I felt like Luigi in the Ice Worlds in Mario Brothers. You know how his like wheels spin whenever you play Luigi. Yeah, it was crazy, and I knew I had to like do something big because I'm like this fight. it was weird. It was the first time I was ever in a fight where I'm like, how has nobody broken this up yet? Because I was hitting him well, but I was taking shots from other people. It was coming from different angles. I was trying to defend, but also throw
You
hard.
were waiting for the one guy to be like, all right, everyone knock it off.
Yeah, it was freezing out, and it was a long day.
Well, that's probably why no one broke it up.
No one wanted to swallow their pride.
Well, not that many people are out at 4:15, but there was enough of a crowd that when I hit the DDT, everyone at first was like, "Oh,
Holy shit!"
But then
holy shit!
yes, but it was funny because how quickly they were like, "Whoa, dude, are you fucking crazy? You could have killed him."
Yeah.
It's like a foot of ice underneath there. It was. So then he was bleeding, but I had some good scrapes on the side of my head, which I think I got from a kick. I think I got kicked in the head by one of his
Wait a
buddies.
minute,
So-
what are you, ninjas?
No,
Who
when
throws
you're on the
kicks that
ground.
high?
And someone
Okay,
kicks
gotcha.
you. Yeah, that wasn't when I was upright.
So when it broke up, like after the DDT, he was on the ground. Then you get up and everyone kind of
He went for the
well,
pin.
but once they saw the blood, people were like, "Oh shit!"
and
you
so,
know?
so you guys just talked some shit as you walked away.
And then one of their guys yelled out, "Cops are coming!" And maybe one of the girls said,
Uh-huh.
"We called the cops."
yeah,
It was funny because my one buddy's dad's like a captain, and then I
Every-
was like,
yeah,
you
Kilgallon
guys know from that
Yeah.
softball game. I grew up in the northwest side of Chicago, a lot of cops, and so I remember at the time going, "Good, I hope the cops come. I'll get a ride home. This is great. I'll save us money on the Uber." And the story ends with some white privilege for you. But yeah, this
So like, stick around, like nigga. No, I gotta go.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
that's why you stay away from fights. It's
Yeah.
smart.
that's how Joe carpools.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, you know what? If I don't have money for an Uber, I'll just start fighting a homeless guy and hope the cop will help me. No, I won't do that shit. That's terrible.
A homeless guy. Jesus, way to punch down.
I know.
Both literally and figuratively.
How
I thought it'd be funny to be like, I'm fighting a hobo, but then I realized as I said it, that's not nice.
But how many fights have you been in?
In my life? Oh, I couldn't count
Like
that.
a lot, like a lot. See, that's
You
the
know,
thing.
the
I
thing
only,
is,
I
a
only
lot
been
of
in
it's
one.
just scrapes, and again, I've told people
Scuffles and shit.
Scuffles.
They were like, yeah.
I've never. I rarely. There's a couple instances, I should say. I can't speak, in which I'm like, you know what? I did kind of start that, but
couple?
only a couple. I'm not kidding. Only a couple. But 90% of them, I tell people the story, and they go, "No, you were in the right. That was the good one."
Really?
You
Really?
guys weren't around, and I don't know if
Who's
James was around.
Who is
I
telling
need a
you?
polygraph right now.
Friends telling you.
The
like,
voices
Are
in your
strangers too? No. I love you
He
guys.
probably gets super aggressive, and they're like, "Yeah, that wasn't your fault. Please, just don't whip my ass, all right?"
This is why I'm glad I'm telling fight stories with like two guys on the podcast, because I feel like if I had two female guests, they'd both be like, and then why though? Why, and what did that person do? And what did they think of this?
Why did you?
How's your relationship
And
with your
that's not even
father?
a knock on women.
Like,
That just shows something different. Yeah. no,
like what?
Did we bring it?
no.
Fucking Jesus Christ.
So no, here I'll give you an example. Before you guys started doing stand up in Chicago, my first couple of years, I had a thing. A couple of my friends, Brendan McGowan and Dean Carlson, were doing these things called True Hollywood Stories, but they were completely made up. And those True Hollywood Stories were really big at the time. So they were funny stories that they like wrote out, I think, for like this show they did. It was like a theme show thing or whatever. And then they kept them in their act because they were really hilarious.
Mhm.
There was always about like, some me and Conrad Bain from Different Strokes were,
Yeah.
like weird shit. Like there was
Just, makeup shit.
D-list celebrities.
Yeah.
They're so funny. So I didn't have one of those, and they went back to back and showed them like, I have a true fighting story, because someone was telling me, dude, I told us this one story to some comic, like, you got to take that to stage.
Uh-huh.
And I had like 3 or 4. They were like 5-minute jokes
Uh-huh.
too. I think that's why I got so much material early on, because they were just long ass stories in which I got into fights with people. And the first one was about how a true story. I got into a fight with someone at a Kmart. The Kmart's not there anymore. It used to be off of Elston near Lawrence, or off the Edens, the 94 highway.
I
right
think I
there.
remember that one.
Yeah, like in between Foster and Lawrence there. And this dude was, my mom was like pulling the car, and the guy was taking forever at the register. I don't know, she was reading something. She took a step and accidentally stepped on the guy's foot, like pulled the car through the thing. And the guy kind of turned around and mumbled something, and then he brought his hand back. I swear he brought his hand back a little bit, like he did. And he had like strong Eastern European accent. And I said in the joke, I said, just to punch it up, I'm like, I couldn't even pinpoint the accent. I think it was like Prussian. I go, that's how much this guy sucks. His country doesn't even exist anymore. And then, but I saw him kind of like mumble something and said like, because people don't realize that in a lot of those Eastern European countries, they fucking hate women.
You're being a little louder, guy.
Yeah.
I know that's a racist fucking. Just fucking.
If I bring the joke back, I'm using that tag. That's a good callback. Maybe I'll do a whole album of me just telling fight stories. But I run up to the front, and I think I DDT'd that guy too.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, someone gets you in a headlock. If you get them in a headlock and they're throwing those punches, I don't know how you don't DDT them. It's too easy. You have their head there, and they're fucked because they're exposed to it. Yeah, they can put their hands on and try to break the fall a little bit, But no, you got him. But I beat the shit out of that guy pretty good. And what happened was the cops did come for that. And security separated. But when the cops did come, he ran out of the place. Because I remember this was the best part of the story. And I told this in the joke too. I haven't told the story in a long time, so it's sloppy right now, everyone. On top, I got on top of him and started hitting him a couple times. And I look out of the corner of my eye, and like this huge woman who's his like wife or girlfriend, I don't even know what, had the arm going. She was big. She was a big, fat, flabby arm coming my way. And she's about to hit me. And right when it like gets this close, I'm starting to brace for it. All of a sudden, my mom fucking shoved her. Like it was crazy. Like because I've never seen my mom. My mom's not like that. You know what I mean?
Prussian haymaker.
She did just. The woman wasn't Prussian. The woman was American.
Okay, black.
Well,
It was black, actually. I didn't want to say that.
She was black?
Yeah, she was a black.
And she's defending this Prussian motherfucker?
Did you hear how he said American?
My God.
She was
You can find love in all the
I
weird
didn't think
places.
it was necessary to say it, but yeah.
No, you had to say it because you have
He
this
probably
Prussian
wasn't
motherfucker.
Prussian. He's probably Polish or Russian. I mean, that's not unheard of.
Yeah.
A Polish man with a black woman. Is that the craziest thing in the world?
That's pretty crazy.
Is that?
It's up there.
It's
It's up there. I don't know. I mean, any other city, but Chicago is such a big Polish population. I got to imagine. Anyone listening, if you know a black person with a Polish person, send us a message. I want to see some couple of pictures of those.
All
That's
two
a
of them.
weird-
But yeah, my mom knocked the woman down because she was about to hit me. And so I thought that was a good motherly instinct on her part. Like, oh, I gotta do something. But the whole
Kilgallon
time
tag
she was
team.
yelling at me. The whole time it was happening, my mom was like yelling for me to stop, which is of course. And yeah, this is kind of a white trash story. That's why I think I stopped talking about
Kind
it.
of.
You know what Joe reminds me of? Those old westerns where the guy's just a fucking killer. Like he's a straight up killer, but he tries to justify it by having the guy draw first. So he'll talk shit. He's like, "Go ahead, pull your pistol out." And he's like, "What?" And fucking to the chest.
You saw everyone.
He saw. He
Hamilton
pulled.
Burr.
Yeah, but you spit in his face and call his mom a cunt. But I didn't swing first.
I just got in the guy's face and I said, "What the fuck did you say to my mom?" And then he said something back, and then we started to go at it. And then I had another story I used to tell on stage of a time a guy spit in my sister's face. This is at Western Illinois University.
What?
She was an RA down there, and this dude spit in my sister's face.
Wow,
and then
she was like, what she was questioning.
No,
some-
we were coming. It was on Halloween. We were coming back into her, the dorm where she's an RA. And the one guy was like smoking in the lobby or something like that. She's like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah,
and
like,
then
you can't do
he yelled back at her, and she's like, she's like, "Do you even live here? I'm I've got some authority here or something." I don't even know what she was saying because I was far back enough. But what's funny was they had like hot dog vendors, it's college campus and stuff. So I was still eating like the second hot dog. So when I spit back on the guy, there was like bun and wiener that was off the roof of my mouth. I totally nailed the guy right in the corner of his eye.
Get hit with some fucking relish. Oh,
yeah.
that'd suck.
So the two stories I told, one of them defending my sister, one of them defending my mom. And then the other one was just kind of like a sloppy, like, yeah, I'm a moron who really probably should have just left, and there was no need to.
You can tell, but I mean, you can tell, like with you, like I'll fucking kill you. You can always tell who wants to fight or who's done it before.
100%.
100% of the time, and like and I don't understand why some people will still egg that person on.
I know.
Like me and Bobby Condon and Mike, did you ever hear about this? There were these guys heckling in the back, and one of the dudes, they were all huge, and one of the dudes was missing some teeth in front, clearly like from a fight.
Yeah. You don't fuck with that guy.
And Bobby Condon's like, could you guys keep it down? Get over, Mike. Keep it down. And the dude, I think this dude's about to swing at him, and the dude just goes, "Fairy dust, bro. Get out of my face." Like he just pretends to sprinkle fairy dust on him.
What is that?
Which I don't know what that means, but it's hilarious.
And Bobby Condon goes, "I see you're gonna sprinkle fairy dust on me, huh?" He goes, "All right, let's go." He's like, it's clear, like I'm not gonna try to fight. These dudes obviously are trying to fight.
Yeah.
They were clearly.
Did they fight? How did Bobby do it?
They were like they kept talking shit. They kept being like, "Don't fucking touch me. Don't fucking talk to me." Da da da. And we were just like, "Okay." And we just walked away. And then they ended up leaving. But it was like. It was the funniest. He goes, "You're gonna pour fairy dust on me." He goes, "Like the fuck." It's like they went from being like tough to like LARPing within like 10 seconds.
My favorite comedian fight story is the one where this happened when I was living in LA, but everyone told me about how funny it was when that bar Brendan's that used to be right next to the Laugh Factory.
Yeah.
Some guy beat the shit like 6 comedians at once.
Oh
You
yeah,
ever hear
wait,
this
was
story?
that like Arcuri?
Yeah, Arcuri
And
Jeff Sheen
was watching from the window.
Yeah.
Oh.
They fought like some guy who was like some jacked up dude who knew like Taekwondo or like some MMA stuff, and I don't know how it started, but it was funny because each one was like, "Well, I got to do something," and then they all kept getting thrown.
But I don't understand it. Every martial arts video. Remember when it's like 8 guys on the one?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking of.
And he kicks the shit out of everyone, and then there's always one guy at the end, and he'll still try to fight.
I know.
Yeah, why are you there, dog? You have no chance.
He just broke everyone's leg.
Because you don't want to be
snappy necks, and then one guy's like, okay, maybe I got a chance.
Well, that's about friendship. You don't want to be the only one that didn't take a
no,
punch.
fuck that.
Because
you
know
know
what?
what?
You have loyalty.
If I saw my friend get their leg snapped in 2 places and then another friend get their like head ripped off, I would not be
Well,
the
yeah,
guy
I
at the
mean,
end.
he's decapitating people. Get the fuck out of
Yeah,
there.
no, but that's what I'm saying. It's
know,
always like that. It's
You've
always
never,
that
you've
last
never been in a
guy.
fight though, Nate, in your life.
Just like little scraps, but barely.
'Cause you're
I had a DMX phase, and
you're an
that was
athletic
like
guy,
I
you know,
tried. No, yeah. There was never. I don't think I ever. There was like one time in college when I got someone in a headlock and it was this giant brawl, but I never got the only
Should have
time.
DDT'd him.
The one time.
Fucked up there.
The one time I tried to get a fight, it was at this party, and this dude was being a dick to everyone. And I was like, fuck you. And he goes, let's go outside. And I was like, all drunk. I was like, yeah. We go outside, and he pulled a knife out. And I go, is that fair? And he started laughing. Like, he was just like, I guess not. And I go, I'm going to get a beer. And I just walked away. And I was like, Jesus Christ.
See, your honesty saved you there.
Yeah.
It
There
you go.
made the guy. I mean, yeah, I guess it's.
And then the
not,
Curb Your Enthusiasm song kicked on.
Yeah.
You get a knife, I get the.
Yeah, it's a great show. I was in a fight where a guy pulled a hammer out, and I scooped
Was
it.
he old boy?
He was an apprentice.
pulled a
He was a
hammer
fucking
out?
apprentice. Because when I
Jesus
grabbed the hammer and then I
Christ.
chucked it across the street in this big thing like bushes, and the guy was like, "This is my work hammer, bro," and I'm like,
Well, it should be at work.
and I'm like, "Well, you can get it tomorrow."
Yeah.
As opposed to his just regular hammer.
You got 2 hammers.
It's like 2 a.m.
My fighting hammer was in the shop. I had to bring my work hammer out.
That's my party hammer. You do my work hammer, dog.
Got 2 hammers, one for fucking up faces and one for fucking up nails. Damn, Ed, you've never been in any fights or anything?
I got into one fight ever. A whole bunch of debates, but never a real fight. One fight ever. This dude who I went to grammar school with threw a fucking stick at my head. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? And I threw it back and I hit him in the skull.
Yeah, that's
He's
enough.
like, yeah. And so he charged at me. He swung. I ducked and I back suplexed him and knocked the wind out of him. And that was
That's
it.
all you had to do.
That was it. See, wrestling moves work. That's the theory of the theme of this.
And again, with the whole fighting thing, I think going back, I was bullied when I was a little kid. There was kids on my block that were like 3 years older than
Oh,
me
I was
that
hella
were
bullied. I
dicks.
wasn't like walking around with a yeah.
And
No.
I think maybe that made it so that as I got older, as soon as I saw someone I feel like being a piece of shit or being a bully, I was like, we're not exchanging words. I'm going to hit you.
Well,
Because
yeah.
I didn't get a chance to when I was 5 when they were 7 and 8, you know?
There was a kid. I mean, there was a kid who used to bully me when I was in junior high, and then when I got to high school, I grew 5 inches and got coordinated. And so, like, I played on the varsity football team, and he was on that team, and he wasn't as good. Like, I was bigger than him, so I would just key on this kid. Like, I
Nice.
would try to cheap shot. Like, I would, any opportunity I get where I could just fucking blindside this kid.
So Romanowski kind of shit,
It was-
right?
yeah.
Break his finger in a pile.
Yeah, I was trying to get him that CTE, like, fuck up his brain.
Keep slapping him on the head over and over again in the helmet.
That's good revenge right there. It's good high school.
Yeah.
revenge.
That was how I
That's
took it
long-term
out. But
revenge.
I never got like
They say revenge
fist
is living
fight.
they say the best revenge is living your best life. You lived your best life. You
Mm.
were in high school. You were a better football player, and then you took care of him in practice.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you
That's
go,
how you
man.
do it.
I had a situation where the one kid that was a bully toward me, I saw him at like a 24-hour diner or maybe Mexican place. It was like late at night. I was out with a few friends drinking, and it was like 2 in the morning. I see this guy. I'm like, this was the fucking guy that was a piece of shit to me, you know. And I thought, I'm like, I'm gonna go over there and say something or fuck him up. Maybe I'll spit in his food or something. I don't know. I thought about that. He had food in front of him. I thought about like taking a taco and and just start eating him. Like, what are you gonna do? You know.
Mhm.
Joe
And-
lived the life of like one of Goodwill Hunting's friends.
No, this
Yeah.
is. No, I'm not kidding you.
Yeah, he's not Matt Damon. He's the other
I
goons. He's
told
with.
this
Just like the
story.
other guys in the car.
Have I told this story in the podcast before? I feel like I
I
might have.
haven't heard this.
Or I kind of said I almost wanted to say to him, remember me? He used to beat the fuck out of me in kindergarten. I thought I was gonna do the the Goodwill Hunting line. Goodwill Hunting line.
Wait, but when did this guy actually start picking on you? Like when did this guy?
I'm not
pull-
kidding. I was like 5 and they were like 8. They grew.
And
They were like
that
5
was-
buildings down. But I saw them later when I was like. But I knew I'd still see him every now and then growing up. So I knew 100% it was him. So as I'm standing up, but I hadn't seen him in years, and I'm this time I'm like 17 or 18 in high school. Maybe I was like a senior, and I stand up and I start to walk toward, and then he got up because they were just finished their food, and he turned around and he didn't see me, but as he stood up, I'm like, I am like a foot taller than this fucking dude.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, this dude is like 5'4",
Yeah.
and like, probably grew real early. That's why thought he was tough shit. And then everyone surpassed him.
Right.
One of those kids that had like a real big growth spurt, and it seemed bigger to me because again he was 8 and I was like 5 or 6. And,
So wait,
and
when
at that moment, I was like, "Nah, I'm not gonna bother. Well, come on."
yeah,
I thought about like maybe I'll just bang his girlfriend in front of him. I don't know. I can't hit the guy. He's too small.
dude, Kilgallon got like a ledger
Dude,
book of
that
people who
is
used to
so
fuck
You
with
gotta
him.
back up. You gotta back up,
He's
man.
just
Dude, honestly, you know what?
fucking-
Here's my favorite speeches of all time. besides like Martin Luther King, JFK, amazing. Number 3, Michael Jordan's Hall of Fame speech. It's one of the greatest speeches of all time.
What do you
And
guys-
people hate it because they're like, all he does is talk shit about the people who wronged him in his past. I go,
Yeah.
yes, perfect.
That's
Yeah.
why he's the best.
That's why he's the best because
Yeah.
he was like, this is.
Doesn't he say? Didn't he end it with like? He's like, the fact that like you guys are giving me this retirement thing means you think I still don't have it. Didn't he like
Yeah.
end it
Yeah,
with
he
like,
did
Don't
say
be
that.
surprised if you see me
like
out there at 50.
indignant, like
Yeah.
like you guys don't think I can fucking still do this?
Yeah.
That dude,
That guy's a maniac,
that's why I
dog.
liked it because the speech to me was great. For those of you know YouTube Michael Jordan's Hall of Fame speech. He basically he flew certain people out. He's like, I flew out the coach who cut me as a sophomore. You know, I should have played varsity. I flew out this guy. Like
They
and-
all
and-
came.
yeah, and
They're
I don't-
like, hey, it's a free.
and they were smiling and they were laughing along with the
Dude,
story.
I mean,
so
if
I
you were
think
part
they
of Michael
knew.
Jordan's timeline, I'd jump in.
Hell yeah. And some people felt like, oh, it was tasteless and all that. I go, no, because to me, a Hall of Fame speech, the good ones at least, are supposed to describe what made you become a great player. And his whole thing
That's
was
my
this
Tom
motivation.
Brady theory.
No one, yeah, but no
Tom
one.
Brady was great because he got doubted his whole career up until he got to the.
And he still uses the doubt thing.
Dude,
that's
his-
funny. He
his-
keeps going,
his
doubt us
under-
now. And I'm like, no one's doubting you anymore, man.
his Under Armour gear is it says 199, which is the number he got drafted at.
Yeah,
That's
right.
what
He was
that's what he's wearing right
6th round
now.
pick.
Yeah.
You guys
Sixth
got.
round.
You guys should totally read the Michael Lombardi book. It's called like Gridiron Genius. It has a pretentious as hell name, but it's about Bill Belichick. He was the scout for Bill Belichick and the scout for Bill Walsh and the scout for not Sean McVay.
Is he
Nick
Vince
Saban.
Lombardi's son too?
No. He's no relation to
No
Vince
relation.
Lombardi.
Oh, I thought
He
there
was just like he's a football nerd, and he was scouts for Bill Walsh and Bill Belichick, and so he got to be in the meetings and everything. And how Bill Belichick, like him and Tom Brady, have their own personal meeting for an hour every day,
Yeah.
where no one else can go in and they just talk. And then after that, like he said, Bill Belichick breaks down he sleeps like 4 hours a day, like some crazy shit. It's
Yeah.
it's an
To have
insane.
sustained success in anything to that level, you have to.
Dude,
You have to be insane.
you're
You have to be
going.
insane.
There's
No
way.
one can touch you in the playoffs. It's insane, and
Like-
he's doing it with the same guys who are like all old now. It's nuts.
Yeah.
It is
doesn't
crazy.
matter who he has.
It's crazy. That's
But Bill Belichick also like takes over scouting. Like Bill Belichick will tell you who he wants on the team, and they'll get these guys like in later rounds, like an Edelman or like someone like that. Like he just knows
because he
who
knows how to
fits in
get
his
he knows how to
system.
get the most out of each person's talent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I tell people say, "Oh, Brady's a system quarterback and all that." But the funny
Fuck
thing is,
that.
I hate that.
I
bullshit
hate that shit.
because they've lost offensive coordinators, the Patriots, to become head coaches elsewhere.
Oh,
and
yeah.
those
All the
teams
time.
have failed. And every time they ask each one of those people, "Well, why did it fail?" It was the same system. He goes, "We didn't have Tom Brady. That's why it failed."
Yeah.
Like you know, like you can't just. You guys think he's the system quarterback?
No,
yeah,
no,
he
no,
works in a
to-
system, but every quarterback works in a
to
system.
deny
Yeah.
the dude's not a rare talent is insane. Also, the fact that the guy, you hear his diets and shit.
He's crazy.
He has
Yeah.
he gets all these weird blood transfusions. He probably has the blood of like a young African boy. I swear to God, he probably pays some insane shit. He goes to, like some weird village in Haiti.
Well, they were all doing that for a while. They're doing that like
Dikembe, come over here real
centrifusion
quick.
stuff, where they like circulate your blood in this weird. They're doing like what centrifusion. I
His
think it's called.
diet?
Kobe went over first, and then Tiger Woods was going over there, but I think they messed up his back actually the way they did it.
all the coaches. In
Peyton
the
Manning.
playoffs,
Peyton Manning
yeah.
had that neck surgery in Germany
Yeah.
because it was at the same time. Everyone's like, people come into America for our surgeries. So even though our healthcare is expensive, we're still the best. And I'm like, why did the top 10 athletes all go
Why
to
are they going
other
like,
countries?
these other places.
Ray Lewis they said he was busted for deer antler spray, but it was afterward and no one suspended him because
That's
he was
the funniest
retiring.
shit.
He got that in New Zealand, or he went to New Zealand for
It's
something.
shaved deer antler and you spray it on your tongue and it makes your muscles grow faster.
Because deer antler is like the fastest growing
It's got, like, a
substance.
fast-
Really?
Yes.
I don't know.
Deer
Think
antler.
about no
Some
one knows what a
crazy-
fucking antler's made of. What is it? Just like
It's hair.
the antler?
Is it
Or
hair?
It's the
hair?
same material that your nails are made of.
But it's
which
like
is-
strong as shit though.
Yeah,
I've felt
yeah,
an
yeah.
antler before.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
crazy.
It's condensed hair
just-
material. Yeah.
Dude,
I fucking felt a
I
hand.
felt that shit, man. I wrestled it to the ground. And said, chill, dude. Chill, man. I love animals.
Quit
man.
calling me guy, you son of a bitch.
Don't you like that?
Who's the guy now, bitch? There was a guy on my football team, total meathead. He was 2 years older than me. He used to take bull testosterone before kickoffs.
Jesus.
So it was like that Joe Latimer guy. If you've ever seen the movie The Program,
Oh,
he'd just
yeah.
be like just
Starting
be,
defense,
Yeah.
place at the table.
You just see, like, just in his eye, and he'd be like, "Kick the fucking ball, kick the fucking ball." He also thought milk was 2 cups butter, 1 cup water. He thought it was a recipe.
What?
He was the dumbest,
What?
He was the dumbest person I ever met in my entire life.
That is pretty.
What
damn
made him
dumb.
get that ratio though?
I have no clue.
The consistency.
Yeah. 2 cups.
He goes,
Is his family poor and they had
But-
to makeshift milk or something?
and that's what I think it was. We used to laugh at him just being stupid with it. I think the actual story was he just couldn't afford this shit.
Yeah.
So his mom's just like, mix some butter with water.
It's good for your Cheerios.
You could churn it.
Shine it up. I don't know why she's in Boston, but
Oh my god! It just I've noticed that though when it's too easy whenever people do like a white racist impression, they do Southern accent.
Yeah.
Whenever they do a poor white person, they go Boston.
dude, Boston.
Yeah.
Because Boston is still has
Have
like
you ever
poor
heard
white neighborhoods.
someone with a Boston accent
Every
talk
city
about
does, too,
sports?
still.
Oh, it's great.
It's like being black and on the dance floor. Like you'd have an advantage for sure. Like you're way more legitimate. If you're talking to me about sports in a Boston accent, I believe you 100%
100%.
more.
Because
than
you
anyone
feel like
else.
they need it,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like his fucking EIA, bro, and you're just like, what? Yeah, this makes sense. Why didn't I see that?
Yeah, totally.
They're crazy.
Another thing I wanted to add about the whole Brady thing was that it goes to you were saying that Belichick takes over like the scouting
Oh yeah.
because people always use what about when Brady was out that whole year and Matt Castle still led them to a great record. They made
Look,
the playoffs.
they
Jimmy
did
Garoppolo?
not. No,
Like, they
did not lose a game. I think it was they did not lose a game.
I think they were 2-2
the
with
season
Garoppolo,
before,
right? Or no?
So
Yeah.
the fact that he finished 11 and whatever.
Yeah, they were 16-0 and then it was 11-5. So
yeah, that's still a downgrade. You know
yes,
what I'm
I
saying?
agree with you
Oh,
there.
no,
But
hey.
also, what people forget, they was good. Matt Castle didn't even start in college. He's a bum and all this shit. Matt Castle made the Pro Bowl with the Chiefs. Remember, he left and played
That's
for the
true.
Chiefs.
Yeah.
Made the fucking Pro Bowl with them.
but that's the thing.
Maybe the Patriots and Belichick are just really good at scouting backup
their-
quarterbacks.
their- Like their scouting is insane.
Yeah,
and,
of course
and,
it
and,
is.
what they do is the reason they get all these players, and you think they're steals. They're not steals. These are no names.
They're not. Yeah.
But he just knows that they fit in his system.
Yeah.
Belichick has his system down so hard. He knows the system so inside and out that he can literally see a person's like how they play and be like, this will fit perfectly. It's not a top 10 talent, but this fits perfectly in my system.
Well, it's another Boston guy, Theo Epstein, who's
Oh,
the
yeah?
Cubs president.
Yep.
He is famous for kind of similar stuff. Belichick's like the Theo of football.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
You just find
I
the
would
right
with
say-
Wes Welker, when the Patriots got Wes Welker, not to cut you off, Ed, sorry there.
Yeah.
When the Patriots got Wes Welker, he was already on Miami.
Yeah.
But I guess Belichick, like Theo, they have a list of these guys where they're like, if they ever become available, I could
Right.
get more out of them than they're currently being given. They know who's
Right.
being undervalued. And the Cubs with Jake Arrieta, they like Jake Arrieta. Jake Arrieta was a first-round pick with the Orioles, but just never,
Yeah.
just was always pitched like shit.
Yeah.
And they were like, we know we could make him good.
Yeah.
We know why the Brewers are sucking with him and they're ruining him. If we ever could get him, we got to get him. And they were able
yeah.
to, and
Right.
then he won a Cy Young. And
I
all this other
really don't think they give coach. I don't like because that's the whole book. The book's
Football's the
about how-
toughest sport to coach,
How
by the way.
coaches,
Yeah,
like,
far.
Oh yeah, I mean
Not even
the
close.
the attitudes, the personality. You're dealing with psychos.
60 people, too?
Yeah, yeah.
So many people in a locker room.
That's what I'm saying. It's like that's when like that's another thing that they established this culture there. When you go to the Patriots, even like in walkthrough, no one fucks around.
Yeah, they
no
don't.
one
Yeah.
jokes because if Brady calls you out, you're done.
Yeah.
Like you
Oh.
can't get on his bad side.
They've gotten rid of really good talent.
Yeah.
Brandon Cooks they had for a second.
said-
They're like,
Yeah.
nope, you got to go.
The Hernandez shit was crazy. Like the Aaron Hernandez, they said like Brady a couple times was like, seriously, stop fucking around. And Hernandez like went off, and that's when they knew he was like someone was fucked up with him. Like he like
Oh shit.
was like going off in practice.
Yeah, there's a story about Brady recently. There's so much respect he has where he could yell at a teammate and they'll be like, well, if Brady's yelling at me, I must be doing something wrong,
Yeah.
right? He's like,
Oh, for
chill
sure.
There was some guy they had who was a linebacker who he thought he should have made the Pro Bowl but just missed the cut or something. He's like, it's bullshit. I was kind of like being a little bit loud about how I should have made it and all this guy. I can't believe this guy get over me. And then Brady was like, what the fuck are you saying? He goes,
Yeah.
you think I play this shit for Pro Bowls? I play this game for rings.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
And then it made everyone be like, you heard him.
Like yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
No, he's like at this point, him and Belichick can say whatever the fuck they want, and you can't refute it.
No.
No.
That's what I'm saying is like like what he was what the Lombardi guy was talking about is like the coaches during the playoffs they sleep in float tanks because when you sleep for 15 minutes in a float tank it makes you feel like you've been sleeping for an hour.
Wow.
So like they all are sleeping maybe 4 hours tops, and they're just getting up and they don't feel like they're tired, and they're just
Jesus
going to work.
Christ.
Love me a float tank.
I was in a float tank, yeah. over the
Dude,
summer
as soon
did
as I
one.
read that fact, I put $300 on the Pats to win the championship. I'm like, you can't fuck with Belichick.
I think
Yeah.
it's
And they
a safe
almost
bet every
lost.
year. Every year I think I go, probably the Patriots because they're even though they don't win every year, they're
You have-
consistently at
Yeah.
the top.
And you have the advantage. Their coaches just know they're just in that position.
Does it make you win and work harder? Or does it make you think that's too much?
Yeah.
You can work harder, but to be the greatest of all time, that's what you got to do.
It really
So-
is. I mean, you read about all these other I remember listening to Kevin Hart on a podcast and just being blown away with how hard that dude worked.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Crazy. And all
You
these guys,
can't
there's
just
something.
be-
Think about Nate. Think of all these dudes who work like The Rock, Mark Wahlberg, Kevin Hart, all these like Gary Vaynerchuk guy, I think Conan. They'll get up. They work out first thing in the morning. They'll wake up at like 5. I don't know if Conan does, but I don't know why I said him in there. Maybe he's part of that group. Not like they don't work out together, but there's like a large
Conan and The Rock.
Yeah, seriously, Google.
You mind
I
spot
don't know
me,
why I
Rock?
made it seem like they work out together, but there's a long list of people. They're not together at the gym, but they all
Like
get up at
Wahlberg.
like 4 in the morning and work
Wahlberg
out.
gets up at like 2.
Yeah, that's even crazier.
He goes to bed at 7, gets up at 2.
Well, and that's like when you ever watch those like documentary, like the I Am Comic documentary, you watch, even like with comedians, like you always hear these stories of like this person was actually the funniest person, but either no names, and you're like, oh, how do we not? And it's just like because work, the ethic is such a huge part of that as well.
It's a huge part of it. I was working Zanies all the last week, so thanks to people from Zanies who came out to the shows, met some cool people, and talked to them afterwards. So hopefully you're checking out the podcast like I told you to.
I mean, obviously certain people have an easier road, and some people like the one person that I think. Like so, one person I popped in my head who just naturally just got everything just because he was so good was Patrice O'Neal. Like you hear that, I hear that name, and I see him, and it just seems like he just
probably put work in.
Well, I'm sure he put a lot of work in. But what I'm saying is like I heard and I don't know if this story is true, but I heard he was heckling like before he even did comedy, he was heckling a comedian, and the comedian's like, "You think this is easy? You want to come on stage and do this?" And he just went on stage, grabbed the mic, and destroyed. That's the myth.
Well, but those are the outliers. For every one like that, you could count the number of people who could do that. You can count on one hand.
Oh,
it's
for
just
sure.
so freak. I mean, every now and then people be like, Eddie Murphy was the biggest comedian in the world when he was 22, and it's like, yeah, but there's 10 other ones who didn't make it till they're 45 who you could say are just as good as Eddie Murphy.
But,
there's no real one path to this.
But that work ethic thing does like the Kobe Bryant shit. Like when Kobe Bryant left, and then you hear all his stories. It's
great.
The craziest.
Yeah,
things.
he's nuts.
And
he's
was
intense.
like, and you could just, and so many people could say like, oh well, he's 6'8", he's athletic. But it's like you don't realize like everything he did, he worked for. Like the stories about him is insane.
Yeah, I try to remind people that there are, even when Michael Jordan was in his prime, there were still people who were more athletic than him in the league.
Sure.
But they just weren't as good as him. They didn't put the work in. They weren't as skilled. They didn't have that killer instinct. They have all that other stuff.
The league is like a next level thing. People were even saying about LeBron about how smart he is. Like people don't give credit for LeBron for how smart LeBron is.
No, LeBron's one of the smartest.
You can watch
court vision.
Court vision.
Oh, how he reads a defense is insane.
Yeah, he could read a defense great.
Like
because even defensively, as a defensive player, well, he hasn't been a good defense. Let's be honest. I love LeBron. This isn't a knock, but he hasn't been a good defensive player in like 4 or 5 years.
I think with him, it's like when he wants to, he can. But even
in his prime defensively,
when he fucking D'd up Derrick Rose, when the
but
Bulls
that's a little overrated if you ask me.
You think so?
Why is that?
because any 6'8" wing is going to have an advantage on a 6'3" guard. At the same time that was going on, the Oklahoma City Thunder were facing the Clippers, and Kevin Durant shut down Chris Paul at the end of a 2-minute stretch. And Durant was never known for his defense.
Yeah.
Why? Because he's 6'11", and the small guys like I don't know how to get around him. Also, D Rose was tired because Tom Thibodeau, the Bulls coach at the time, was famous for playing. Oh, hey, you want to play 45 minutes every game from now till fucking the playoffs, and then you have nothing left at the end. And
Derrick Rose also didn't have. Derrick Rose had Kyle Korver as his
number 2.
That's why that team was always flawed.
That was the saddest when they were
no
up
one else
2
could
games.
create a shot. He was the only guy that could create a shot.
You remember that though? Eastern Conference, they're up 2 games against the Heat, and we're thinking we're gonna go to the finals. This is crazy.
Yeah.
And then that game when they put LeBron on Derrick Rose,
and it was over with. Derrick Rose could not do shit.
After that game, I remember in my head being like, "It's over." Like I remember
LeBron shut down Rose at the end of that game, but then and everyone's like, "Oh, that the next 5 games he was bad in the first." The next 4 games, he was bad in the first quarter. He wasn't the same player going into it. Here's the thing: I love LeBron, but there was a couple of misses. I was going to get to his defense though, because his court vision is where he would get numbers.
Oh yeah.
He was never a good one-on-one defender. I'm not kidding me with that. He never was. People like to go like, oh, but he guarded all 5 positions. You could guard all 5 positions, but guess what? Name one number 4 or one number 5 he guarded well.
Mm-hmm.
Garnett owned his ass when he guarded him one-on-one. That's why they were like, you're not doing that anymore.
Kevin Garnett's a breed you're never going to see again. That's the saddest.
That's true
ever.
too. But Duncan also dominated LeBron when LeBron tried to guard him. Mm-hmm. Anytime he tried to guard a 4 or 5, that guy would fucking toast him. Dirk Nowitzki was toasting him. That's because you could stand in front of the guy doesn't mean you're fucking playing good defense. I'm sorry, like that's just not true. Look, LeBron had stretches where he was a great defensive player because his fucking court vision was amazing. He could see, he could intercept passing lanes incredibly well. And he knew how to run around. But to me, LeBron, he's this freak athlete, of course, but he doesn't have enough sociopath in him to be the greatest of all time. He has the physical tools to be the greatest of all time.
That is dead. No one does. Chris Paul's the only one in the league that still got that a little bit. No one else in the league got that. I will kill you
to win.
Yeah. Dude, Chris Paul, a great story about Chris Paul. He was playing against the
This is the saddest
Spurs.
shit, by the way. I owe you guys a lot of beers. For
Nah,
that.
don't worry about
I was
it.
running late, and I thought I had beers left in the fridge, but my producer's an alcoholic, wanted to fucking drink all my beers during the week.
Sorry.
That's all right.
So Chris Paul was playing against the Spurs, and Tony Parker and him got into an argument. I heard a little bit of that too.
You heard a little bit of that, yeah.
Tony Parker and him got in an argument and a fight. So in a post interview, the person, I forgot who it was, Rachel Nichols or whoever was interviewing, was like, "Hey, isn't Tony Parker staying at your house right now?" He's like, "I don't care if my mother's out there. I will die for this shit." I was like, "God damn."
Yeah. You need to have that mentality, and especially in sports.
But let me ask you, because that Garnett thing got me thinking. Is there ever, with social media being where it is, and how anyone's quotes can get taken out of context, and how anyone can be heard, how you can be heard on a universal level with anything you say, is there going to be another Garnett type trash talker? Because that's a lost art.
Didn't he tell Carmelo Anthony that his
Pussy tastes
wife
like
tastes
that
like
his
Cheerios?
wife's pussy tastes like Cheerios?
No, not pussy.
Honey Nut Cheerios. Let's be
He
clear
said
about
Honey
it.
Nut Cheerios.
If
Yeah,
it's
'cause
regular
regular
Cheerios, you
Cheerios,
get mad for a different reason.
Yeah.
You go, how dare you insult her like that? Her pussy tastes way better than bland regular Cheerios.
Cheerios.
No, I said Honey Nut.
Oh,
All right,
okay, I got you.
Well, still though, but different reason.
Get out of here with your kicks, mixed berry ass pussy. That's what I would say.
God, I wish I had a woman right now, because I'd like to ask her if you could choose any cereal for your vagina to taste like. Which one are we going with?
Tricks, maybe?
Which
I don't
one,
know.
what would you want your?
We got Cameron Esposito on the line.
You know what I was thinking? This would be a
our
perfect
wife
clip
is
to promote this.
problematic.
I was thinking this would be the clip to promote the podcast,
Yeah.
and you to fucking throw that
Oh,
in
my
there.
God.
It's all right. I'll
Shit.
cut it.
Oh.
I'm not gonna cut
No,
it,
he
but
did.
But he called. You remember when he called Charlie Villanueva, a guy who had alopecia. He called him a cancer patient.
Yeah.
And then they were like, "Did you say that?" And he goes, "No, I said he was cancerous to this league." And it's like, oh, you could see his lawyers like siphoning
Garnett was the
through.
man.
Oh,
Yeah,
he
Garnett
was.
was
But
great.
that's
No,
the thing, is he talks shit.
But I
to
don't
anyone.
think you're right about that. It's
The
gonna be tough.
moment people started tripping about the bullying in the NFL, that's when I realized it was done with.
Oh,
With
and that's such
Richie
a lost art.
Incognito, like, I thought that was hilarious. Like, have you heard that voicemail? It is funny. I'm sorry.
That was incredible.
Yeah, I forgot some.
Like Incognito
Oh,
turned out to be
yes.
real messed up in the head, though. This guy Richie Incognito was, he got like
He was
he
bullying
was bullying
people.
another one of his teammates, and then the teammate just kind of left the team as it became a whole thing. Because it was weird, because it's like one 6'5", 300-pound man bullied another 6'5",
Yeah,
300-pound
it's like
man.
they're in the
with,
NFL. It's like they're the toughest.
yeah,
the toughest
And he's
dudes.
trying-
you
and
I
know?
thought
you
it
know
was
what?
just a team of bullies.
and after
Yeah.
after the guy left,
Whoa.
You half
What's that?
nigger piece of shit.
this is-
I saw you on Twitter. You've been training 10 weeks. I want to come in your fucking mouth. Slap your fucking mouth. I'm gonna slap your real mother across the face. Fuck you. You're still a rookie. I'll kill you.
I'm never gonna say the
it's
line.
like-
I'll kill you
that-
again.
don't
He
you
just
hate
ruined
when-
that line for me.
Don't you hate when someone steals your pillow talk? That's like that's a regular night out with me and Stu.
but you know-
that's hilarious.
yeah, that's funny to me.
I thought it was so funny that I'm hearing the end word. I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna laugh at that. I'm not allowed to.
I thought that was
When he opened up with that, that's what made it funny. Like, let me set the tone right now.
and you also gotta
The rest of the voicemail is not going to get any better.
it's a rookie who like he's probably new to the NFL. He has no idea. All of a sudden it's just like you have one new voice message.
Oh, it's my buddy Ricky. Let me see what Ricky got to say to me. Oh, Lord.
He goes, maybe he wants to go out for a bite.
But you know, like I look at the
You're
sport.
still a
like,
rookie.
you're
That was
still
like
a
the
rookie.
least offensive part.
You're
He
still a
closed
rookie.
with that one.
He closed with
He
that.
didn't open with that. He closed.
God,
I think
man.
he laughed at his own line too. He goes,
Yeah.
"I'll slap your real mother."
Yeah, dude, he's laughing. He's laughing at his material. I love it. Dude, oh my God. Do you remember it was when Jarek Rose?
I imagine Chappelle. He's Chappelling hitting the microphone on his lap. The mic in his
I'll
lap.
slap your mother.
What's he doing on his phone? He's
I'll
like,
come in your mouth. Do you remember when Derrick Rose got on when that photo of him leaked out, him throwing the GD sign?
Yeah.
And then the game after, Garnett, they're playing the Celtics, and Garnett just fucking swats his shot. He's going for the layup, and he just swats it, and he goes, "I don't fuck with GDs." He was the best. He did
Garnett played
research.
Chicago Public League ball too.
He did
Yeah.
research. Man, thank God there wasn't Twitter and shit when Larry Bird was around.
They
I
said
heard
Oh,
Larry
my
Bird was the
God.
biggest trash talker
Yeah.
ever.
They said
Ever.
yes.
They said he was. From what I heard, that he was racist. He would go after moms. He would go after everyone. Reggie
But see,
Miller,
though-
they said the same
see,
thing.
though,
But I don't
it's
think-
not,
but
it's
weird,
not
though.
racist, though.
No, because the guys
If
still
you're-
loved him.
if
They,
you're
that
on
was
the
part
court,
of it.
if
Yeah.
you're on the court or you're in this
Oh,
sports
yeah.
meet, you do whatever the fuck you gotta do. You talk about Lawrence Taylor used to send hookers to the opposing teams. Like before the night before, yeah, Lawrence Taylor would send hookers, hire hookers, and keep these guys partying all night, doing blowing shit. So the next day they're all fucked up.
Yeah.
and he's just blowing over offensive linemen. You know what I'm saying?
Lawrence Taylor's
Like
Lawrence
that.
Taylor's just responsible for VH1 Celebrity Reaction.
Well, you know, Muhammad Ali was a huge trash talker.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know,
he was the best.
Maybe the best of all time. Although I think Conor McGregor's slowly falling into that conversation.
love
Dude,
that.
yes.
I love it.
But you hear Muhammad Ali said to Joe Frazier
It
when they were
needs
leading
to
up to the big fight, he
exist.
called him Uncle Tom, and I guess Frazier never forgave him for that.
really?
Yeah.
Who gives
Anything
a
else, I was
shit?
fine with his
I'll-
part.
Say
I
whatever
will
you
tell you
want.
this. I'll
If you
tell you
can
that.
get into someone's head, say it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's mental warfare.
Exactly.
Jalen Ramsey, I love that quarterback shit. When he's like weak, he was calling it. When you're a fucking cornerback, you have to have that swag.
Yeah.
You're constantly getting singled out.
He can't
Drew
guard me.
Brees had great
Yeah.
swag when he was in college. I remember being a
Yeah.
Drew Brees fan when he was at Purdue. Because I remember him getting sacked and like talking shit to the defensive lineman who sacked him.
Yeah.
Going,
Oh, I
nice hit,
love
baby.
it.
Him sacking him in the hands. He goes, still got you, but nice play, baby. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like
Oh, I love
running
that
his
shit.
mouth.
Speaking of Belichick, that was my favorite one. Was he got an interception and some defensive back goes up to him and is like, "Yeah, what do you think about that?" He's like, "Shut the fuck up and look at the scoreboard." You're like down by like 30 points.
Yeah, man. No, and see that's the thing. Like shit talking when you're when you're getting your ass kicked. That's one thing.
stupid,
But when
yeah.
you're when you're like when you're going against like the star player and you are doing everything you can. Lance Stevenson, another person
Yes.
I love.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah.
LA cannot give him up.
Because-
I'm
they
convinced of
shouldn't.
it. They
I
cannot
think
Yeah,
give
they
him
made
up.
a
LeBron
dumbass
wanted him
move.
just so he never had to face him again.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
that
God.
was a Kobe Bryant move. Kobe Bryant did that shit every year.
Yeah.
You
Fuck
need
Ron
that
Artest,
guy.
fuck Trevor Reeves. He was always.
Well,
this
Ron
guy
Artest
can-
was like one of the best defensive players
Yeah.
in the league, and he's
Yeah.
like, and then he would like break ribs when he'd play people, man.
Used to-
He knew how to
apparently,
like.
there was a little fun fact that he used to drink E&J at halftime at the Bulls locker room. The team was so
Yes, yes, I do remember that shit.
bad.
For years.
That team was so bad.
They were horrible.
Yeah.
Dickie Simpkins was their starting center. That
And
was
a bunch
how
of those
bad
guys
they
got
were.
better after they left. Elton
Yeah.
Brand, Brad
Elton-
Miller became an all-star. They all got way
but it
better
was
after
Brand,
they left.
but like
They're
the first,
we gotta get
the
out of that
first
Tim
year was
Floyd shit.
Brand and Ron Artest,
I remember that. Yeah.
and they were like Ron Artest came out. He was drinking like cognac.
God,
It's like his numbers, they were compared to stats. Like second half stats were so much lower, like half of what the first.
This guy
half
gets
was.
gassed real easily, huh?
And then you have the athletes. All right, that's cool. I like that. You have the athletes, like we were talking about, the people who just put in so much work and they're like insane to their craft. And then you got the guys like you hear stories where they're just like, I'm drinking a little beer and all that kind of stuff. That's why I never like comparing.
There's a swag.
Because then, well, you got those dudes. Those dudes are fun for the entertainment value.
Oh,
but
sure.
You always think, man, how much better could they have been? Those are the equivalent to like we hear about these comedians. And I meant to mention this when I was at Zany's throughout the week. I think I started to bring it up. The MC, Kevin Naughton, really great dude.
Kevin
he's
Naughton.
been around the scene
Oh my
I've been
God.
around comedy for a long time, I should
Yeah.
say.
Old school guy.
And yeah, old school dude. And I remember like looking at some pictures on the wall, and he was like, that guy was the guy everyone thought was gonna be the biggest thing in the world. And I was just like, what happened? Like just the drinking, just couldn't.
Oh
Yeah, that's why I
Had
shut
to
it
be
down every
smashed.
February.
It had to be smashed when he went on stage, and then it got to a point where
a habit,
it
man.
just like the clubs would stop booking him because he was
Mm-hmm.
like a liability, and then that was it for him. But at the time, there was a time where, I mean, even like everyone's like, this is the guy. Like the people who were the guy at the time would see him and be like, oh, he's the next person. This I've never seen anything that funny in my life.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And I just went to shit.
It's-
Because I was thinking about the athleticism with the mindset. Kobe Bryant and Tracy McGrady. Is there really a difference between them athletically? Like when they're
No,
in
you're-
prime for
have you
prime?
seen- have you seen
no,
the
but
Kobe
Kobe
Bryant
worked his
interview?
ass off, worked harder than Tracy. Tracy had that raw
Nah, I
ability.
wouldn't say that.
Really? I said Tracy had
Tracy
that raw ability. He
McGrady
won a couple
got
scoring titles.
hurt.
It was great.
He got hurt a lot.
Well,
But
no,
sometimes the hurt is not taking care of your body, though, man.
I would-
Tom Brady drinks his weight in water every day. He's all about recuperation or all that
I
kind
would
of stuff.
say, I would. T-Mac might be. I understand like that comparison because yeah, like they're the same.
I just trying
same
to
body
think
type.
same their position, same era. Well,
Yeah.
for a while, Kobe lasted way
I mean,
longer.
do you remember the guy who was like ahead of LeBron in scouting? Was it Lenny Cook or something like that? When in high school, LeBron wasn't the number one guy until his senior year. There was this dude Lenny Cook out of New York because LeBron was from Cleveland.
Yeah,
And then-
Akron.
No one gave a fuck.
Yeah, he was from Akron, Ohio, and this dude was from New York, killing it in New York. So everyone was like, "Oh, this guy's from New York." Like he had way more
Most
exposure.
overrated
Better
basketball.
And then they,
too. No,
and then
fuck
they,
that.
yeah, and then they came, and then they
Chicago Public
played.
League's the best,
They
but-
played in like that All-American game, and LeBron just embarrassed him.
Sure.
And then the dude never came back from that because he just couldn't take the
Well,
failure.
so much of it's mental too.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
but that's when.
But that's why
when the league-
bullying belongs in sports. That's what Richie Incognito was doing to this guy. He was toughing
Trying
him
to get
up.
the best out of
And
him.
he's like, hey, if you ain't gonna come and punch me in the mouth, you don't belong here because I want you to be able to kill these guys on this
I
line.
totally agree.
You know, if that story would have happened, well, it wouldn't have been a story because people are like, we're not reporting this is slam. You know, but I remember when that happened, I was doing the podcast with Megan Gailey, which you could see I like to have like a little homage to my roots in podcasting over my shoulder here if you're watching on YouTube right now or Facebook. I remember when that story came out, we were both like, yeah, this Incognito guy sounds horrible. But at the end of one of the articles, I think it was an ESPN or Yahoo Sports article, they said that, I can't remember the guy who got bullied, but he accused Incognito was the main culprit, but there's 2 or 3 other guys that were also bullying. Those 2 or 3 other guys were also black teammates.
Yeah.
So when James played the clip of him leaving that racist voicemail, didn't it sound like he was reading it? It sounded like he was wrote it down.
couldn't
His
get-
buddies, the other
for
guys
sure.
were there. The other guys were probably
Dude.
there laughing at him as
for
he
sure.
says it.
For sure.
And-
The moment
yeah.
he starts laughing, and it's like people don't use context
it
anymore
wasn't
at all.
threatening.
No, there's more context. But
Yeah.
I remember people wanted to make that a race thing, and I go, that's not a race
It's
thing.
not
That's
a
a
race
football
thing.
culture
It's a football
thing.
thing.
No.
You got to like talk about it from that
That was
angle.
some
but
terrible shit said.
that was the start. That was like in 2013 when that happened, and that was kind of like the seeds were being laid for making things because everything is clickbait. Whether people who try to, I like how there are people who will write blogs going like, and I'm not one of those people that have clickbait. I'm like, yeah, you are. You are.
did.
Just because you're talking shit about, you're trying to be one of those people that's like, I've never done steroids, and then you find out later you're guilty of it,
Isn't
right?
it kind of interesting though, like that football, especially, is a sport that you'll get blasted for doing shit like that. But like baseball, I feel like you can do something like that, and you won't. I don't think the repercussions are as bad.
Not anymore.
I don't think the
I mean,
stigma.
now.
Remember
think
John
now that-
Rocker?
Yeah, well, that was a big story.
Yeah, that was a
actually.
big
That
story,
was
though.
huge.
Yeah,
But
that
he
was
still,
huge.
That was
he still
pre-internet,
played though,
too.
right?
But
yeah, for a
also
little
the
bit.
era was different though.
that's
When
true.
John
He'd
Rocker
be
got
out
caught
now.
up,
He'd be
yeah,
out
if he
now.
did that now, he'll be gone.
I guess they were talking about like with the domestic abuse.
Well, Addison
scandals.
Russell's still playing. He got a 40-game
See
suspension.
that dude from the Astros?
Yeah.
That's the most. I mean, out of all the clip, even like that's the most brutal clip I've ever seen him. Like that, like they're going down the hotel stairwell.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
It
yeah.
is.
I'm
It's like
blanking on his
I
name.
can't even watch the full
Type
thing.
in Astros domestic
And that
violence.
dude, I think that dude's still playing.
It's a Latin player. I can't think of his
Like if that was the
name.
NFL, are you kidding
Yeah, some
me?
people were
He'd be in
really
jail.
upset about
Yeah,
that.
but everyone, I don't know, the NFL
Robert
got
Osuna?
the stigma.
Yes, Osuna.
And
Thank you.
that's what I'm saying. It's like
It's got the stigma with it.
NFL has the stigma, and it's now on high alert. Like you can't.
Well, because NFL does have
Yeah,
that,
no-
that whole culture of like
not
the,
saying that's not. That's,
like you're
that's
you're right.
wrong
The
that they have.
stigma. Even when we're talking about like how insane they are, they treat it like it's war. They try to simulate war. Like we're going to war. We're going nuts.
Yeah.
And that's why they have the military tie, and the military pays the NFL to promote patriotism.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, that's why a lot
sure.
of the phoniness behind the taking a knee stuff. You know, and then and think about like besides like the crazy coaches and the players who a lot of them are probably doping up or doing whatever they can, deer antler spray. You know,
Yeah.
you have these owners who all come off as like Yosemite Sam type characters.
Yes.
Every one of
Except
these
for Robert
billionaires. Robert Kraft is like the wokest
He's
one,
the
right? Or
wokest
something,
owner
whatever.
in all of sports, up there in racist Boston. Go figure.
Yeah.
He's
CJ. Oh my god.
But it's
Out
funny
to
because
dance
people.
with
That's
Cardi
what
B
that's
and
what's
shit.
kind of annoying me a little bit now. I'm all right with. I'm obviously cool with people being more aware of things and all that, but it's kind of depressing that it's the Rams versus the Patriots, and I'll see some people going, well, I know Tom Brady's friends with Trump, so I can't root for them. And I go, that's
Yeah.
gonna.
Yeah.
And by the way, the Rams owner gave $1 million to Trump.
Um,
The Patriots owner is
No, and-
notoriously
and-
the other way.
Yes.
So like, well,
Oh.
it's like if we're gonna make
When-
politics about everything, it makes. I like that band a lot, but I found out their bassist voted
You know
for
what?
Reagan in
When-
'88.
I
It's
said
like,
this.
what
I
are
said
we
this.
doing?
Everyone said, "Hey, how can you be such a
84.
big Tom Brady fan when he's friends with Trump?" It's like easily because I don't wrap my political beliefs around someone who throws a fucking football for a living. You know what I'm saying? It's like what? You know?
It's like when everyone was shitting on like Jenny McCarthy is a fucking idiot when it comes to vaccinations.
Oh, for
She's
sure.
a moron.
First
but
off-
my theory is this:
Can I say
if
something?
you take your advice from Jenny McCarthy, your kid didn't have a shot in
Yeah.
hell in life anyway. Okay.
Also, I hate to say this. How dumb was her kid, where she thought it had autism and it didn't?
I think the kid just didn't want to talk to his mom.
That
I think the kid might be a genius, just going like, I'm just gonna play on my blocks. I don't want to talk
He was
to
just
you.
a great counter.
You're going on. By the way, Jenny McCarthy, who lives in Chicago, if you ever want to be on the podcast, I'd love to talk to you. She's ever, like, you know.
CJ Sullivan had the best when
He's
that
hot.
Donald Sterling thing
Yeah.
came out. CJ Sullivan said, "I'm glad that my team is owned by one of the good white billionaires." It's like, yeah, none of them are good people.
Someone had a tweet that was kind of interesting. It's like nobody makes $1 billion, they take it.
Yes.
Of like what?
Yes.
A lot of them wouldn't be
that.
billionaires
Oh,
if they
that's
treated their employees
That's
fairly, or if they didn't like
Yeah, that's
get
true.
I
around.
always said
They're
that,
always getting around stuff,
If
right?
you're- I say
Yeah.
millionaire. If you're a millionaire, you didn't make it through like art. Like you are. There's some evil in you.
Yeah.
Like
I
you-
would have agreed with that, but nowadays not as much
Yeah,
because there
a
are people.
million's not a lot
There are
of money
people who make $1
anymore.
million where they're like, I'm the junior vice president of sales, and we sell like
Yeah.
shoelaces to underage kids. Yeah,
But that's the
$1 million
problem,
ain't-
though.
$1 million ain't
Underprivileged.
shit.
Not to say underprivileged.
Somewhere down the
Moron.
line, there's some Chinese kid stitching those shoelaces together in a
I
sweatshop.
got you. Yeah, that's true.
There's
Yo.
no ethical consumption under capitalism, guys. Sorry.
Not
Yeah.
really. Yeah, that's fair. I like how James is like, this is my era. Now I get to.
Yeah.
When
They're
does
done
become,
talking
when does it
football. I
become
get to get in there.
NPR?
By the way, though, I will say this though, because remember you were like, "Oh, you're gonna get shit for this from like certain comedians." I think I want to support a system. I call it moral capitalism. That's what I think would be the best
Yeah.
system, which is basically just a new name for democratic socialism, essentially.
Sure.
Meaning under like if you move to Sweden or Germany or Canada,
Yeah.
these countries that are considered democratic socialists, which means like they still elect people. The reason a lot of socialism doesn't work in these South American countries is because
Yeah.
it's a dictatorship.
Yeah.
So it's one guy going, "Oh, here's what we're gonna do with every fucking thing," and too bad if you don't like it. Here's some health care. Shut up. That of course that system doesn't work. That's not really socialism
Well,
anyway.
those systems are also
authoritarian something or other. I can't think of
They're
the name.
set up like with horrible power vacuums every time someone leaves like office.
Oh yeah, they got the
There's-
mess in
there's-
Venezuela right now that I'm talking
Yeah.
about some friends, but I still don't have enough information to talk about intelligently, and
It's
also I
not
want to have
structured
fun.
well.
I have none.
Yeah. But with like you could like if you were to move to Sweden or whatever country I name, one of those European socialist countries, you could start your own business.
Sure.
You can make a lot of money off that. But if you fall down a flight of stairs and break your neck, you're not going to go bankrupt because they'll take care of you. The taxes pay for your
Well,
health care.
you have to be a citizen first.
Well,
we
that's
can't go
true.
over
But
there
even
and
if
do
you're
that
not,
shit.
but even if you're not a citizen, they'll charge you, but it's not much.
Yeah.
I had a friend who was in Europe and they broke their leg, and it was like it cost them like $50.
Oh yeah.
Oh, word?
You know what's
pretty
They broke their legs skiing in like the fucking Alps, and it did like
You know,
it was
it's
$50.
a-
It was not much at all.
Nice.
There's a problem in China because that whole one-child policy that was going on in like the 90s and 80s. So everyone only had one kid, so they wanted to have a boy because they wanted to have their legacy kid. They wanted their name to carry on.
Yeah.
So now they have a problem where it's dominantly men, and they're very like it's so.
Is
Fucking,
it like prison gay over there?
Well,
Yeah.
there's
There's not a lot of gay Chinese porn. Now
No,
that
but
I
they
think about
said-
it, that
Yeah.
should be a thing.
There's still like dowries and stuff there. Like if
They still
a
do that,
woman
huh?
goes into a bar, they said, and the thing is, the most fucked up part is that these men, when they were kids, their parents put all this pressure on them to be like real intelligent, to go to college, and like you're the only one we have. You better. So they're all like introverted nerds, and they don't know how to talk to women. So it's like even
But they
more
could fix
fucked.
this crack on my iPhone.
But yeah, no, they said that's like a huge problem. Like, and they said like females, like they said like American women will go over there and get offered like I'll give you $30,000 if you be my wife. Like they do deals and shit.
Oh, that's cool.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Nice.
I like
amazing.
I like
You know what's funny?
dowries.
People always like we know a lot of people give like American men shit, but and obviously we could be a lot better. No, I'm not saying we're perfect. We are far from it. And yeah, guys, be better out there, 100%.
That way to
But
save
but
yourself.
when I hear about other cultures, I'm like, we're not that bad. We're not really that bad. I mean, like, dude, there's
We allow
some
you to
cultures
speak.
yeah,
it's like,
we're,
what
not,
the
we're,
fuck?
not, we're not
Yeah.
trading our women for
We let
livestock.
you drive a car. We let you,
You try- yeah, give us a
Not
break.
trading you for 2 goats.
No, I remember someone shared a post. It was a picture where it showed soldiers. It was in Saudi Arabia where there were like Saudi Arabian soldiers giving women flowers because it was the first day they were legally allowed to drive. So it was like, oh, what a great moment. Women can finally drive in Saudi Arabia and they're getting flowers. And I saw a woman on my timeline say, oh, I wish men did that for us over here. I'm like,
Oh, really?
okay, do you want us to
You
take
want
away
to take everything else away from
so
you?
you think deny a basic human right forever, finally give it to you, and then be like,
Here's
here's
a
a
flower.
dead
Sorry
plant.
about
My
that.
bad.
Like,
Here's
we're like, what?
Sorry about that whole you ain't a whole person thing. Here's some daisies.
Stupid. I think people just looked at it. But this woman was
Go get
part
it.
of the. There's some daisies.
Go get a champ.
Keep it under 20 miles an hour.
Don't go putting your makeup on while driving, too, huh? Actually, they're not allowed to wear makeup over
Yeah, that's
there.
right. Yeah,
they don't
they
even
can't
let-
put underneath the shawl. How do you-
Yeah.
Here's a rose. You get like you get the Buick.
But like, I think those are like her saying that. I think she's part of the people who are just looking to hate and looking to be angry. I'll give you another example. I'm glad I've got a diverse group right now. A Jewish man
yeah.
and a black man. Here we go.
He's gonna steal all my music.
By the way, I have a theory that
about to sign that after.
I have a theory that black people, Jewish people, and Irish people are the three most funniest cultures.
Fuck yeah.
yeah.
So if you look in comedy, those three seem
slavery.
Yeah, because there were three groups that were repressed for a very long time, and
absolutely.
I think something comes out of that. Yeah. So the Virginia governor, they found a picture of him in his yearbook, his medical school yearbook, in blackface. It's bad,
yeah,
right?
I seen that. Yeah.
So people are calling for him to resign and all that stuff, and I got a group text thread with some of my buddies, and they were like, "Do you think he should resign?" And I'm like, I googled him first because I wanted to look at his record, and it seems he's not governed as a racist at all. He was the guy who said we should take down those monuments to Confederate soldiers a few years ago. Like when he was running for office in Virginia, he said that. So it's not like he's comfortable. It seems like he was a doctor. He was a doctor in the military, so he was like saving soldiers in the battlefield. Like this guy seemed to have lived his life great.
People just want blood, dog.
Yeah, they want blood.
Blood,
so he did something really racist and dumb 35 years ago.
First off,
I don't know.
35 years ago, it wasn't racist and dumb.
It was 1984. It still kind of was.
I don't know, man. It was like, hey,
Virginia wasn't.
By the way,
cusp.
do you remember the movie Soul Man?
With Steve
Yeah.
Martin?
Yes.
Yeah.
When did that
Steve
come
Martin
out?
movie,
Now,
or-
I'm pretty sure it was like 80.
Yeah, 82, I think. Hold on.
So this is 82. This is
right,
a
yeah.
major motion picture about a white man looking to get a black scholarship. So he paints
Oh,
himself
C.
in
Thomas
blackface.
Howell was in that.
Yes,
Yeah.
he paints himself in blackface,
remember
and
that.
it was an okay movie to do that shit in.
Yeah.
86.
86. So
I have
in
a friend-
84,
I
he
was
goes,
alive for that.
yeah, yeah.
I have a
People
friend.
forget, this country's today is still fucked
I
up.
was
So
2
you
years
go back
old.
30 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was completely
Well,
acceptable.
Louis C.K. had that great thing where he talks about how people forget time, and they think everything was longer than it is, or
Or when he
whatever.
talks about slavery.
Yeah, there's such a funny
Yeah,
bit. It's a shame
that's
that everyone
two
hates
dead
him now.
grandmothers.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, because
that was two dead
he
grandmothers
goes, I've
ago.
heard intelligent, college-educated people say slavery was 400 years ago. He goes, no, it was 140 years ago.
Yeah.
'Cause I think he said this in 2010.
Yeah.
It was 140 years ago. That is two grandmas living back to back.
Yeah.
Two 70-year-olds. And yeah, people definitely. You're right. So, and I think does he have the joke too, where it's like as a white man you could go back into any period in time and be fine.
It'd be fine.
As a black man, you don't want to go before 1982.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I just think when I heard it, I go, look, what he did was absolutely horrific, and that's terrible, and all that
I
kind of
wouldn't
stuff.
even say horrific. Look, man. As
Yeah,
a
I mean,
black man,
horrific probably is
As a
dramatic.
horrific is if he lynched a nigga and then Crip walked on his dead body. Because not only that's racist, he's doing cultural appropriation at the same time. So that's horrific. You know what I'm saying?
You made killing. I'm not going to say that word.
And he locked the
Kind
door.
of funny because of
He
the
locked the door
afterward.
while he did it. I couldn't leave while he crip walked
It
down.
made me feel guilty because the crip walk is a cool dance, but the idea of doing it on a dead body. By the way, if you're a politician, I think that would cost you some votes doing something like that. Even in the
Absolutely.
most racist county in Mississippi, you might get in trouble.
Walk.
If you did Crip walk, you'll definitely earn the Crips.
I
You'll
could
lose the
Crip walk a
Bloods,
little
but
bit.
you'll get the Crips. You know.
So I know I hear what you're saying.
So back then it wasn't bad. It was just
I mean, okay, I
So
think
he's
it was
just-
bad, but it wasn't like
it was acceptable.
Yeah.
No one looked
because
at
this
his
was
wife
actual
like, what the
blackface.
fuck are you doing?
I used to think there was a difference between the black faces, and I actually have a friend who
Is it the white lips?
luckily I have a friend who luckily took.
Oh,
there was a
you
picture
are
of
right, yeah.
to go because I did up until about 7 years ago. I thought blackface was when the black and then the white around because there was because back in the day blackface is a term because they wouldn't let black people act in stuff. So they had
Oh,
white
thanks for
people
telling me that
dress
joke.
up like
Al
black.
Jolson.
I'm telling listeners too. Every now and then I'll be on a podcast and I explain something for listeners. They go, I know. And I'm like, yeah, but the person listening might not. It's not for you. But we're not recording a conversation in my fucking house. I hear you saying that though. I'm in my own head about it. Did I just white explain blackface to him? Fuck, I'm such a dipshit. So I remember I had a friend who went as Michael Jordan for Halloween.
Yeah.
I think he was in high school.
So
And
yeah,
he
when was
painted.
this?
He got it still 2003, 2002,
yes.
2002. But
Oh, that's. I was trying to defend him right there for a second.
2002. But in his head, he was like, "Oh, I didn't do it offensively."
Well,
I
is that
didn't-
his fault or his
I didn't-
parents' fault? He's a fucking kid.
I think it was
That's
just
true.
ignorance. I think there's a difference
Yeah.
between racism
I
and
don't
ignorance.
Ignorance,
think.
yes,
I don't
there
think
is.
you showed anyone accountable for whatever they tweet out before the age of 18. That's irresponsible and stupid.
Yeah, you're still learning about who you are
Yeah.
in the world.
And
Exactly.
my thing too is this. That's why I remember.
That's what pissed me off about that Louis C.K. joke, by the way.
Which
that
one?
he got so much shit for because they tried to make it a trans joke. It wasn't about trans people. It was about young people.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they tried to flip it like, oh, he's transphobic. I'm like, no. He thinks someone 14, 15 years old should not be talking about how they should be addressed. Be young. Be fucking reckless. That's
Yeah.
the whole bit. It wasn't about Ugh. Anyway, so
And he's working stuff out, and I don't like the being
The whole thing,
recorded
yeah.
illegally. and,
I don't think I ever did blackface just because it was annoying to get makeup off my face.
yeah, no.
that was the
How
only
much
thing that stopped
water
you.
and soap you gotta do?
Yeah, I
It's like,
went
no
egging houses with friends when we were like 14, or we wouldn't do houses, but we'd egg other people. And I think I did like face paint. But I think I went for like dead president's look.
Oh yeah, we did the dead
That was white
presidents
face
thing.
paint though, right?
We were in white face.
Yeah, we were in white face.
You were in Switzerland face.
So I know. So with the governor thing, and look, the people. Louis is a bad example though, because people have reasons to hate him and stuff. This governor
Fine,
had
I'm
done
okay with that.
Yeah, sure. But this governor hadn't done anything up until this point. He was a very
Yeah.
popular governor who won like 98% of the black vote in Virginia. So and people really liked the guy. Someone dug this up. And then he has
That's
to
what
address
people
it.
do.
Yeah, they do,
They
right?
don't want resolution. It's like, how
No,
could I fuck up someone's day?
So I realized the mentality behind some of this because I was talking with my friends in the group, and when my one buddy goes, "So should he resign?" I go, "Well, I don't know enough about him, so before I know anything, let me look him up." I was looking up stuff with the mindset of, I hope I find out this is a great dude who just did a bad thing 35 years ago,
Yeah.
you know. And then other people I know though, they go into it going, "Ooh, I hope I find more shit to prove he's a piece of shit."
Yeah.
I don't like that mentality.
No.
I don't like the idea of looking like why.
No.
Why?
Well, and yeah.
Because it's like we're just so hungry to crucify every person. Oh, so you hear someone so did this?
Yeah.
Let me look up. I bet there's more. Let's tear them down. They get like a high off of this mob mentality.
Yeah.
There's something comforting. I don't know words.
Comforting?
Comforting.
I
about
like how
me.
by the way, I've been tongue twisted a few times, and this is the soberest podcast
Yeah.
I've had.
And sometimes you need a
essentially.
liquor for words to flow out. There's something comforting about me being a piece of shit. A little bit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not that high and mighty.
Are you a piece of shit?
Kinda. Most.
Never
Hey,
thought of you
if you
one.
look at my post yesterday, a lot of people do.
No,
piece of
I
shit.
just think you're honest. I just think you're
That
honest.
sounds
Yeah.
some serious
Yeah.
heat on Facebook.
I just think you're honest at times when people are careful.
And yeah, but I'm honest about everything. I don't claim
You're
to be,
consistent, which is what I've always liked
yes,
about you.
I don't claim to be a social justice warrior. I'm doing any of that shit. So if something happens to me where someone goes to my tweets and like, oh, he said this, I'm like, well, you can look at my body of work and see I'm being pretty consistent with everything I've done.
Yeah.
It's not going to take it.
They'll
Stuff
cherry
like
pick.
that doesn't take away. It's when you try to clean your image up. That's what kind of got Kevin Hart caught up a little bit because he stopped being a comic and he started being a corporation.
I just don't like seeing comics try to tear him down. Or
That was
join
that
it, 'cause
was
I'm like this. No one is giving back to comedy more than that guy.
Yeah,
You
100%.
know, that guy works his ass off, worked for everything he's got, and pays it forward. So, I see you're checking your phone. Ed hosts a good open mic.
Yeah. I just want to tell.
We're
I'm
gonna-
listening. I just got to tell Rodescu one thing.
Oh,
Keep
cool.
talking.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we're gonna wrap up pretty soon.
did
But with the governor thing, I just want to add another point to it. Let me ask Ed though, because I can't really ask you, or maybe I could in a different.
I'm kind of black. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Well,
He played football
so this guy was a doctor.
And
This guy was a doctor.
and basketball.
Basketball.
Too, yeah.
That's the sport I'd use first.
So this dude was a
Could've been a
doctor.
lineman.
If you found out your doctor 30 years ago, I was in med school, did a picture in a Klan hood or in blackface, would you still want to go to that doctor?
I'd probably say no.
If
Like,
they
a
did for you,
Klan-
if they
a
drew
Klan hood?
swastikas
Nah.
when they were younger,
All right. See that's
Klan
no.
hood is like
you wouldn't want to
pretty-
go to him anymore.
No,
right?
no, because it's
'Cause you
going to
can't
be
just
like
say that's a
it's going to be
phase.
like, oh well, this surgery didn't go as well as I planned it to. I have off days sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And yeah.
Also,
Yeah, there's
swastika,
plausible
I don't
deniability
like.
there.
Maybe if he maybe if he dressed up as Hitler as like a joke in his high school, like at a high school party, but
Well, you're Jewish. You go to a Jewish doctor anyway.
yeah, I go to Jews at our headquarters.
No, but that's by the way, what I said wasn't even like an anti-Semitic thing. That's
Oh,
like a
no.
known thing with Jewish people. They say go see a Jewish doctor, go get a Jewish accountant, which is smart.
They hook it up.
They do. They want to keep the money in the tribe. That's a Jewish expression. I'm not.
But no, it depends. But like with moral outrage, especially, it depends like where it's aimed. Like, do you remember the lady who tweeted? She was like, "I'm going to Africa."
Yeah, that's in
and
that
I'll
book. I
get
read
AIDS."
that. Did you read that
Did you read-
book?
well,
It's a
which
great
one?
book. There's a book called "So You've Been Publicly Shamed." It's by John Ronson. He also wrote The
Oh.
Psychopath Test. He wrote The Men Who Stare at Ghosts, which became a movie.
But
He's
like,
a
what
great
happened
writer.
to that lady? She had to
It was
move out of the
insane.
country.
Yeah, she had 44 Twitter followers. One person randomly found it
Wow.
'cause they were looking for code words. And
Wow.
destroyed
That's
her
what I
life.
think they do.
And she was going to Africa to do humanitarian work.
I know.
She just worded a joke terribly.
She was. She,
Her jo-
it was. Yeah, it was a shitty joke.
Well,
she
the
just had
point-
a bad. She's had a bad
yeah.
day on Twitter.
The point of the joke was that it's embarrassing that this country is so underdeveloped or this
Yeah.
continent is so underdeveloped, we don't do better.
Yeah.
That was what her contention was.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you looked for that, you could see how, okay, because she's kind of thinking, I'm going to Africa.
But they
I
read
hope I
it-
don't get AIDS. And
Yeah.
then she kind of meant it as like, because can you believe that
Yeah,
we
that
as a
peop-
society still allow
That's
this to
a
be
reach
rampant?
dog.
No,
That's a reach dog.
no, Ed.
Hey, he's doing what I do. That's that
Oh,
shit I
no.
do. That's the same shit.
he had me. I was following
No,
it. But
no,
I was
no.
like, oh yeah.
I think
Ed,
I
if
think
she
it did-
wasn't going over there to do humanitarian work,
Right.
I would agree with you. It's a complete reach.
But-
that was her
but
excuse. If
here's
she was
my
like,
thing.
I went to South Africa
Here's
to
my
see
thing.
fucking a rugby match. Then I'd be like, oh, that's a reach.
Let
But
me
the
tell
fact that she had a history of being a great person.
Let me tell you something. I believe both can be true. Yes, she was doing good shit. Also, I just think it was just as simple as a bad joke.
Yeah.
And when you have 44 Twitter followers, you're not thinking this is going to make major news.
Yeah.
You know, this nothing, you can bomb in front of 44 people.
can
That's
you
one thing.
imagine?
It went so viral that when she got off the plane, people spotted her and took pictures of her in the airport going, look, I just spotted her.
Jesus
Because
Christ.
people figured out that she was on the plane and had no idea. They think, oh, she's on the
Oh,
plane,
it's
but didn't pay
so
for the
fucking
Wi-Fi.
scary. That's a
She's
Black
reading a book
Mirror.
or sleeping. And as soon as she gets off the plane, people were like excited about it. There's a fucked up mentality with the
know.
fact that we're behind screens now.
Yeah.
And there's no
Yeah.
more, I might get punched in the face for this. There's
Personal
people,
interaction.
Yes.
That's why I was
People
talking
don't
about.
have
Yeah,
empathy
the-
when they don't see what you're doing to the
because you
person.
don't realize you're destroying something.
Yes.
That's why I said, like, when I had that bad comics intervention with that one comic, I'm not going to drop his name. I did it to him in person, not on that Facebook
Yeah.
shit. I walked up to him like, look, all right, we got to talk about this right now.
Well, we don't have to say his name, just so the listeners get a little backstory on this. This comedian posted on one of the Chicago comedy. There's like these groups that just kind of say, "Hey, there's a new show," or just it's one of those things. He asked the comedy scene, which has got like 1,500 members on the thing, which by the way,
3,000.
3,000 members.
Yeah.
By the way, it should have about 74.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
3,000 fucking
that-
people. There are not 3,000
that's a
comedians.
reach.
Even
in
that-
Chicago.
that's a reach.
Yeah, that's a reach too.
74. I've been like, fuck.
74 is
A
still
small
probably
group chat
yeah.
at best.
My
Yeah.
God, 3,000 people. Because every now and then I see these names of people asking for comedy advice. I'm like, here's advice. Go
Go
somewhere.
yeah.
Go to. I've never seen you in my life. Anyway, though, he asked, "Hey guys, why do people hate me?" And then people were. I wouldn't believe how people were just like. Well, a lot of people were cool about it. You're like, there was constructive criticism there. They're like, we don't really hate you. We just hate the shit you say.
Mm-hmm.
We think you're a terrible comedian, and we think you're dickish about it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't really respect it, and that's why people don't like you and treat you that way. If you actually put some work, people are, and you did it in person, which I think is cool too. But I get he asked the question, so it's a little different. So I get people responding that way.
Yeah.
But you're right though.
But some people were just like, I don't like you. You're a piece of shit.
Yes.
And that's when I was like, okay,
Why?
Take it down and that. This
Yeah.
is still a
Yeah,
person.
it's like, what's the
Still
point
a
of this?
person.
Yeah, and this is someone who's he's obviously.
And do you really know him?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Do you really know the
The
motherfucker?
guy
actually
clearly
say
has a
that-
dream.
would
I
you
don't
say
like
this
people
guy-
doing that.
Yeah, he's,
I'll tell you, he
it's not
definitely
like he's
cares
ask-
about comedy.
Yeah,
I can tell you that because he is out working. But it's like,
and it's not like he's not asking the question to have you be like, because I fucking hate. He's not trying to do it. Like I really do think some of the comments in that thing when I was taking a shit and I was reading all of them, I thought some of them were actually like very valid points. Like it was like, oh, they're like, hey, it's nothing against you. This is what I think you could work, like stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah,
And,
I
like,
read some of them.
That's like, but then there's like, you're a piece of shit. Go fuck yourself. And it's like, what this? Like why?
Why would you
Like,
write
people-
that?
Why
try to
I don't
tear- why
understand
try to tear
you
this
do
dude
that.
here's
down.
what I hate about the left right now. If I don't, a lot of people out there, I'm not gonna say all of them, but a lot of people out there is like, if I don't agree with 100% of the shit you say, you're automatically a piece of shit.
Yeah,
You know?
that's
and
fucked up.
that's why people
that's-
think
by the way,
that's
that's
why
not-
people think I'm an asshole because
That's not a
I'm
liberal thing to do.
no, it ain't.
That's the opposite of
Yeah,
liberal. But they
exactly.
wear the liberal flag and they're
Exactly.
making liberals look even worse, and that bothers me even more so.
And I said this before, and people don't disagree with me. It's like right now, I'm being bipartisan as possible. The Republican Party makes a lot more sense to me the way it's going than the Liberal Party. The rules are constantly changing with
They
the
do
liberal
change-
side.
Well, I'll give you an
But
example.
but the Republicans kind of kept it consistent.
inconsistency.
Fuck niggas.
Yeah, consistent. Right.
Get money. That's it. You know what I'm saying?
The inconsistencies on the left drive me nuts too, because this governor of Virginia who had the blackface photo
Is
35
he
years
a
ago.
Democrat? Republican?
He's a Democrat.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, like I told you, he won 98%, 95% of the black vote or something like
Yeah.
that. And people seem to love him, and he's very popular there, and he has a history of being a good guy.
Mhm.
People are more upset about this photo from the mid-'80s or early '80s than they were about the comments Hillary Clinton made about black youth in the mid-'90s.
Yeah.
Those comments didn't disqualify her at all.
Yeah.
But this picture,
Dude, that-
he needs to resign, people are saying. And then the Liam Neeson thing today, where I don't know why I didn't read it. I didn't
Oddly
read it.
progressive in a weird way. I do agree with
Did you
Excel on
read
that
it?
shit.
Some people say
Uh,
you have to actually read the whole thing because some
no,
people aren't
you can-
reading it.
you
They
can
just
li-
see the clip and then they go, "Fuck him." Then
you can listen to it. No,
You can
it's
listen to it.
it's as bad as it sounds.
Is it as bad as it sounds?
Honestly, it is bad.
I
as it
haven't.
sounds.
So
but
I haven't seen
when
it. or
people
heard
take
or
it out
read
of context, is it at this point? Well, first off, I do think it was a dumb move for him to bring this up at all.
Yeah, it seems weird.
You're talking about what ifs and shit. Like you didn't do anything, dog. Shut the fuck up. But he had this white guilt to him where it was actually a mission of him being a piece of shit. It's like I ain't gonna lie, I'm not proud about this moment in my life. I had this moment that happened where I was looking to do a legit hate crime because one of my friends got raped, and it wasn't right and justified, but I was just angry and sorry about that. Didn't need to say any of that shit, but just the fact that he can come back, look at the past, and say, I was wrong here, and have the balls to come out with it when he really didn't
And
have
by the
to.
way, people don't realize this. Look up Liam Neeson's age real quick if you could, James. Thank you very much.
Do you think
I'm going to guess 65, 66.
I'm going with that, too.
Do you think he did that though because he was
It's a pretty
out of
progressive
fear that,
move
like,
for-
he's like someone might leak the story.
That's what
so I'm
someone
gonna jump.
floated on someone's
I
comment.
doubt
Janelle
it.
James
No,
made
why
the
would-
I don't
post.
think that's a story that would get leaked. But
Because
still,
66.
also, by the way, 66.
66.
So, yeah, we're about right.
still it's a,
But also that story, because I heard someone float that idea that maybe there's a story that's going to get leaked. So, by the way, that would be the easiest story to deny. Someone says, by the way, guys, Liam
He
Neeson
thought-
thought
But also,
about
could you
doing something bad
imagine-
to black people 30 years ago or 20
Yeah.
years ago, whatever it was.
Mhm.
And then he would be like, no.
No? What?
What? Who?
Can you
Yeah.
imagine Liam Neeson
How do you
was
know my
walking around with
thoughts?
a
What are you,
crowbar?
Xavier?
What, do you have a crowbar on him?
He had some weird British thing.
like a
I forgot what he said.
like
It
a like
it
a
was
like a
slammy-
Wellington dingle dangle stick,
Is it a shillelagh, an Irish thing? Because he's Irish,
Some
not
shit
British.
like that, yeah.
like a
Kosh.
slappy to dappy.
A kosh. What the fuck is a kosh?
Gosh, let's see what it
It's like a nightstick.
I had
bro.
to-
A
Kosh
catch?
on me.
The catch like from
COSH.
Lord of the Rings?
A thick, heavy sticker bar uses a
He
weapon.
had-
So yeah, it's like a
Oh.
nice stick.
He
Yeah.
had he had the clob gun from Goldeneye.
Yeah.
The claw dog.
So it took like
Great game, by the way.
1,000 shots to yeah.
And look, I'm a Liam Neeson fan for his movies, and you could separate them. I'm sure if Taken's on, you'll still be like, yeah, it's still a great movie.
I've been separated.
I just think it's crazy how people want to tear him down. Again, I didn't hear it or read it all, but Exile, who I respect his opinion a lot, Xavier Mine's been on the podcast, everyone. Your opinion I respect, and a few other people, I was like, first I got to listen to it, But some people were commenting saying, if you read the whole thing, he's saying he was ashamed of this.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he was just at
100%.
He was
Yeah,
at
it
a
wasn't
time
a
of his,
parade.
it was a time of his life where he was in a lot of rage, and which was justified. Your friend was raped. The hate and the racism was not justified, of course. But I mean, if you have a friend get raped and you're like, I want to beat the shit out of
you want to say
somebody,
something fucked up? I am
that's fine.
okay with
I'm okay with
somebody being racist in the heat of passion and anger.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you're looking to kill someone,
If a
who
rabbi
gives a
stabbed
fuck
your
if someone
mom,
calls me a nigga? If
Nate
he's chasing
would
me
get
with
it.
a gun, yeah, yeah. These fucking Jews,
Stab away.
whatever, yeah. So you get a pass for that shit.
If some redheaded piece of shit looking like me did something terrible to your family, and you were like, "Fuck these potato eaters," I'd be like,
Based on your stories, I would just apologize. I would apologize, my guy.
too into it.
Can't use that word.
All right, this has been Kilgallon's Pub, everybody. I want to thank Nate Burrows for coming on. Nate, where could they find you, man?
Oh, you can find me.
You were great today, by the way.
Thank you, man.
That was pretty
It was,
good.
it was
too.
a
I
lot.
guess
It
we're
was,
both
it
great.
was a lot of fun being on. Follow me on Twitter, Nate Burrows 2.
Fuck Nate Burrows 1, huh?
Yeah, Nate Burrows 1 and Nate Burrows.
Damn.
Nate,
Yeah,
Bur-
God
the,
damn.
the,
Really good
orig-
name, Nate Burrows.
the original Nate Burrows hasn't tweeted in 5 years, and he only has one tweet, and it just says "Hello, pretty ladies" with a smile. So he's a smooth cat.
For that
There
to
you
be
go.
your only tweet, though,
It's his only tweet.
yeah, maybe he died, and that's what's left. of him.
Before I go,
That was his
give me
epitaph.
something for the bitches real quick.
Something for the ladies.
Just a smile. No, and then I run a show at High Dive every Thursday. Go to that. Don't go to Ed's fucking show on Thursday.
Well, I'm not
Stand,
really a part of that
too.
show right now.
Okay, good.
So, but still go to that show. I love that place.
Thank you. You're so nice.
Fuck
could
you,
go to,
James.
go to both.
Fuck you, Nate.
Go to all of them. No, this was a lot of fun. I mean, I think to button everything, I just think people need to look things. Things are really, life's better than you believe.
Yeah.
And if you're on the internet all day and you're just getting in that world, it's just this bubble of just shit that's going to make you think things are terrible, and then you too are going to buy into that. Well, this person's probably I just think
I agree.
I don't want to live in a world where people can't evolve. I don't like the idea. I know we're going to have some guy or some woman who's going to be a great candidate, could do some real good change in the world, and someone's going to find out, oh, she called someone a fag playing Xbox Live when she was 13. And now
Which is
she
perfectly
doesn't. And now we're
acceptable.
denied
Everyone knows
these
the
great
internet.
ideas.
She said in
Slurs
quote,
exist.
"Throw your grenades.
It probably happened.
Throw
You
your
kill me
frag
with the
grenades,
beam
fags.
sword,
Yeah.
bitch."
So I just don't want that. And Ed Towns, where can they find you?
Comedians you should know. Wednesdays, go to all those shows and help me out.
Hell yeah,
and
man.
also this Saturday. Please come to the album recordings, both shows. I'm on the 9:30, but go to the 7:31 too. You never know what's gonna happen. Joe might flip out on someone in the front
During
row,
my own recording.
laughing the wrong
Oh,
way.
it's gonna be great, man. So here's what I did. I know you appreciate
I
like.
want to get on the tantrum show.
Yeah, come on out. That'd be the early show more likely. The late show's pretty much almost sold out, so the early show. On Saturday, so Zanies, they do 3 shows on a Saturday, 7 and 9, and then at 11:15. And I'm going to do an hour for the recording.
Yeah.
So I thought to myself, how am I going to work this out? I did a different 20 for each show.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and
That's awesome.
honestly, I'm writing a pretty good. I'm so
feeling
confident
good?
right now. I might not go up the rest of the week. I'm
That's
kidding.
for sure.
I'm,
It's a Thursday
no,
spot,
I'm
dog.
joking, man. I got to do. I'll probably pop into your mic tonight, Ed, and then
Cool, I got you.
I've got a show at House of Blues tomorrow. Actually, I'm not plugging any of the shows. I got shows the rest of the week to warm it up. I will be on Lawrence Holmes' show on the Score, 670 The Score, Sports Radio, the #1 sports radio station in the Midwest. So if you're a Chicago listener, you don't even have to be in Chicago. If you're anywhere within, they got like 10,000 watts, so they go pretty far. If you're like in Milwaukee, you could probably hear it. They might even go pretty deep into Michigan, Iowa too. And so I'll be on that plugging it. So big thanks to my man Herb Lawrence and Lawrence Holmes for having me on this upcoming Thursday. And everyone who's booked me for their shows this past 6 weeks. I'll be at Stand Up on Thursday running the set too, doing about half an
come
hour.
to that. And only that.
No, come on. I would if the recordings were sold out, I would say that. But no, come on, man. Come
Well, on
record.
Thursday, only that.
Yeah, there you go. So I just want to thank everybody for booking me because you need to tighten this stuff up, and without you guys, this album's not going to be nearly as good as it will be, and it's going to be. So for everyone listening, thank you. Everyone who's on Facebook Live, thanks for checking it out. Everyone who's watching on YouTube and all that other kind of shit because I'm putting this thing on all the platforms. This has been Kilgallon's Pub. Cheers.
Did you
Fun, guys. That went fast. I love that.
That was good, man.
I only even thought of the time when I saw you check when you were texting someone. Obviously,
I was just people at the list.